Oh.
And we're live!
And we're live! Welcome, agents, to strain number 11 HNY of the 0 Point Report, a broadcast all about the news surrounding the Secret World IP. Today is January 9th, 2020, and I'm your host for this evening, Ocho. And with me tonight, we have, you can actually see us.
Yay!
Down there in the lower right corner, we have Jimmy the Rabbit.
Hey-o!
In that corner,
The heavyweight bounce.
I don't know. With an IP of 10 billion, we have Jimmy the Rabbit.
It's only 1718.
Oh, you've come into modern year numbers. 1700s. That's not bad. That's not bad. What's modern?
Yeah, right?
518. Which even I think is not that bad. I don't think 518 is still nothing to sneeze at.
Right?
It's just not that level. That's okay. Doesn't have to be. How are you, Jimmy?
Doing pretty good. Trying to get all the kinks worked out of the new setup.
Yes, we did this kind of off the cuff just a couple of seconds ago, really. Trying to figure out, because we do not have Imbuer with us tonight. Imbuer sadly could not join us tonight, and that's okay. It happens. But we thought, hey, why don't we actually try video? How hard could this be?
Right? That's what she said.
Yes. Turned out not that hard. Not that hard.
Sadly, also what she said.
It's just Skype. We're just using Skype. We're not using anything too drastically impressive. Shooting my video right at him.
No, the tough part was so Imbuer was nice enough to give me all the overlays and scene stuff, but it imported all the devices as his.
Okay.
So like I open up OBS and it's like all this devices that I don't have.
Yes.
And none of mine are set up.
Right. And all the different names that you use with OBS. Your own
like
schema.
all the audio components and everything, and like I'm well, this will be fun.
just gotta figure out which ones actually connect to which.
Yeah, no big deal.
That's what is it? What's the saying that the phrase that you commonly hear all the time is you turn it off and you turn it back on again. But that actually applies to like a whole that is actually very deep. The definition of on and the definition of off. It goes much deeper than just flicking a switch or whatnot. That's why it's so out there. Turning it on and turning it off again. Anyway, this is the first show of 2020. We are now in a new year. For better or worse.
For richer or poor.
For richer or poor. In sickness and in health.
Mostly sickness, it seems like.
For as long as we both shall live. Well, we've now seen the end of Krampusnacht. End of Krampusnacht came and went. And how did you do this Krampusnacht, Jimmy?
60 icy claws, 3 crowns of hells, and a horn of Niflheim.
Okay.
And all finishing my Imbuers.
And finishing, see, that I think is more impressive than even the icy claws.
No, I think the impressive part is doing both in the same time frame.
Oh, right, because you basically farmed the heck out of Dark Agartha, since basically the winter update was kind of a simultaneous, hey, we're turning on the winter event, and oh yes, big Dark Agartha updates.
So I was running 9 characters through Dark Agartha a day. And trying to farm icy claws. Healthy. And trying to farm icy claws. But see, the Dark Agartha has a thing called the lucky dice, right? So you can only get talisman fragments. And so it turned out to be more efficient to only run 5 characters a day, the ones that are on my Patreon account, but do the lucky dice on all of them.
Okay.
Because
otherwise you'd only get like a handful of fragments.
Yeah, because the other ones. So I spent a little more time on each character, but they get like bonus XP, they get bonus marks, so they can do like their first 5 daily challenges. They can afford the lucky dice and go get like usually between 8 and 10 fragments at a pop.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Whereas like the non-patron ones take forever just to get enough XP to even run, and then they get like 3.
Yeah.
So it was more efficient to put a little more time into each patron alt than try and run everything. I wish I figured it out sooner.
Because
running 9 was crazy.
Excuse me. Because your characters, the patrons are all on one account, right? And the other ones are on a separate account.
Right. I have a free-to-play account. Well, I have a free-to-play account. I have my brother's free-to-play account. He doesn't use it anymore. And then I have my patron account. So yeah, I was logging between 3 accounts and like doing it, and it wasn't efficient. But even doing 5 and then doing Icy Claws, I actually fell asleep farming Icy Claws.
Oh no.
Like I don't know if sleep is the right word. I literally passed out for like, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds or something. And I woke up in the windstorm, in Niflheim. Ooh, Mikey with the host.
Yeah. It didn't need to be a.
It comes up automatically.
It does, yeah.
But yeah, so.
I just realized I wasn't actually in chat. I wasn't actually seeing the chat. Now I am.
Yes, I'm in chat in multiple places, because that's how I roll.
Checking out everybody's chat.
Yeah, I try to. But yeah, no. So like in Niflheim, the fight, she teleports to one end and does like a wind, like a snowstorm.
Yes.
So I apparently in the middle of the fight, like sort of just passed out for a second, and woke up in the windstorm. Was like, oh crap, and popped a bunch of defensive cooldowns and like ran out of the windstorm.
So you passed out.
I survived.
And still survived.
I passed out and survived.
That's impressive. That's nice.
Chicken stew in the house. It says, oh snaps, we're getting fancy in here with 2 cams. And there's Main Spirit.
2 cams. And you can see my new, see if I can move over here. You can see my new gaming chair.
I feel like you're trying to show something else. You're like, hey.
You're like, hey, check this out. No, I got my issue with gaming chairs, and this is a side thing here. My issue with gaming chairs is that they're all like bright neon colors.
Are you calling me out on my Mountain Dew green colored gaming chair?
A little bit.
Well,
I just think whenever
it currently
I saw
has a hoodie on it. It has a hoodie on it, but
I can't just do it. I was like, yeah, no, I can't really see. There you go. Yeah. Until I saw this one, and this one is not as fancy as most are, but it's like, its color is gray, so it's gray and black. Still, it's like a nice, I don't know, back window. I don't know. I'm happy. I can now sit generally without pain.
Very nice.
But so yeah. So yes, we saw the end of Krampusnacht. That came and went. And something that they did not put in the notes, something that they did not put in the update notes, is that now when an update ends, you don't have to wait. I'm actually going to test this now because I've got a couple that I have built up here. And yeah, no. As soon as an event ends, whether it's the winter event, whether it's the anniversary event, whether it's the Halloween event, any caches that you have left over, you can just, as soon as the event ends, the caches just automatically, you can just click on them and they will just turn into anima shards now. Without an update needed, because that was kind of a pain for a while there.
So Novella actually commented on that. He said, because I guess the name of the item used to change when they updated.
Okay.
And that's how you knew they were ready. And a lot of people didn't try this time because the name didn't change. But what the update did is the name doesn't change. That was an update that would require like rebooting things.
Right.
But they're able to when the event ends, change the state of the item, just not the name.
Okay.
So, like, I guess in the past, your snowflake would have changed name, and that's how you knew it was ready to consume.
Right.
And now like you just, when it ends, it's just ready to consume.
Old snowflake or something.
Yeah,
whatever they called it.
Yeah, it would change. And now it does, the name doesn't change, but you can just start double clicking them to eat them for shards.
Which is good, because that was a bit of a pain. Like after an event
I'm sure
ended,
it was a pain for them
wait,
too.
Like a much worse pain for them. That as soon as an event ended, you had like like a week, maybe like a week and a half until until you could use them. So you still had to keep them in your inventory. And right, then they had to have a specific update just for that.
Right.
So that's good.
I'm laughing at chat.
Hey, Kylaney.
I got separated out.
Jimmy's wonderful. What are you talking? I think you're wonderful.
Aww.
That's you, Jimmy, and anyone else who wanted to take that compliment.
No, you can't have it. It's all mine. I wasn't on time. The stream was supposed to start like 30 minutes ago.
We weren't on time. We're never on time.
To be fair, that's not my fault.
No.
I mean, it is my fault in this case because I'm actually doing the streaming this time, but the previous every other time this show has ever launched and been late, it's not my fault.
Nope. Well, it's sort of like a collective fault, I would say.
Well, honestly, I think I'm going to say we would have been able to go, but we wanted to get the video thing working.
We wanted to get the video thing working. We could.
We were ready to go at 9, but it took a little extra time to get the video working.
No, actually, most times we get just caught up in just talking Secret World. That's usually what occurs.
See, I just figured we're killing time. Oh, we got
they were like, we need to shut up because we need to talk about this on stream. What are we doing talking about this before stream?
Did you see who the follow was? Hold on. I'm gonna figure this out. Oh God.
We should show up late. I mean,
never mind.
You might be on time.
Hey Zen. Yeah, well, I'm not logged into like Streamlabs for 0 Point. This is the 0 Point report. Mikey, would you like to explain the spiel?
What is this stream? What is this stream? That's a more philosophical question than I was ready to answer. This is a 0 Point report. The 0 Point report is a I'm not even gonna say it's a bi-weekly show. It's basically whenever we can do it on a Thursday. But it's a show that we put on that talks about the news surrounding the Secret World, any news that we could find surrounding the Secret World, or even other properties such as Conan, Mutant Year Zero, Moons of Madness, any property that is remotely related to Secret World, because we're fans of the game. We're fans of the longtime fans of the game. This used to be a podcast called Beyond the Veil, which lasted for many years. And then the owners of the podcast Beyond the Veil kind of wanted to take a step back. They were kind of just like, we're kind of done. They kind of wanted to retire. So this is our attempt at basically continuing the legacy that was Beyond the Veil. Yes, Dune.
Yes, Dune as well. And I don't know, am I sounding robotic? I wasn't before.
I don't think so. No, I think you're good. So yes, absolutely, when Dune comes out, we're going to talk the heck out of Dune. I'm going to play the heck out of Dune. I don't know.
And whatever the heck that what is it? Oh, what? It's a mutant game, right? Mutant Chronicles.
Oh yeah. What is it? A first-person shooter? Is that supposed to be?
No, isn't it like
It's not like Mutant Year Zero. Mutant Year Zero is a isometric, turn-based strategy.
No, it's like a co-op shooter or something, right?
It is supposed to be a co-op shooter, yeah. Or FPS, at least.
They showed a couple screens.
I believe they've said that in financial reports. I think they said that it's supposed to be a first person, or at least a shooter of some kind.
I'm trying to check my audio here a little bit.
Yes, I'm hearing myself. Technical difficulties.
I don't hear any static.
I don't hear any static either.
Turn your volume down.
Let me try. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
All right, testing 1, 2, 3.
I hear it.
Did you hear? Wait, did you hear before the mic? Was it just a game?
No, it's on your end. And I'm not hearing it through Skype. But it is like a bit of a
weird.
Like a bit of a popping. Yeah, it's on your end. And it is weird because yeah, I don't hear it. It's a bit of static from beyond the veil.
Maybe I just turn it down?
Could be. Try talking again.
Hello.
A little bit.
It's really weird.
I have McDonald's and I'm not sharing. I do. My wife got... This is the only thing I got from McDonald's tonight.
I'm trying again.
Actually, because I had... she had McDonald's, I had the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Wait. What is going on?
The same sandwich that has been in the news, like, about people murdering each other over. And I wouldn't say it's murder-worthy.
Huh.
But it is good. How you doing over there?
I don't know. Never had this issue before.
I'm just gonna ban them.
Hey, KGM.
Oh, they're
It
already
sounds
banned.
fine
Good.
now.
Okay. Yeah, I guess whatever you did.
No, it's still there a little bit. It's just lower.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's still there. Well, if it is, I don't know. We can get through it. We can get through it, right?
I mean, probably. Doesn't happen on my stream. I don't know why it's happening on this one. Wait, how about now?
That's my I don't know. Uh-oh. What did you do?
I don't think I hissed that time. I know what it is. Haha.
Okay. Nope, I can't hear you anymore. Hold on. Let me try.
You need to unmute me on Discord, dude.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. I was like, wait a minute.
I muted Skype. Skype is what's causing it.
Of course it is. Okay. That actually makes sense. Skype isn't really the best of things in the world.
But
oh wait, but now we're talking through Skype, right?
No, I'm muted. I'm muted on Skype. That's what I did. I'm muted on Skype. That's why I said unmute me on Discord.
Okay. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. That did it then. Okay.
Yeah, so your audio's coming through Skype.
Okay.
But
all right.
I think what was happening was my mic was going to Discord and Skype, and
and was causing a bit of
it was some
feedback.
kind of like feedback there.
Okay.
That's what it was.
That works. That works then. Okay. Anyway, thank you for putting up with that.
Tech support from Beyond the Veil, indeed.
Beyond the Microsoft. So anyway. So end of Krampusnacht. Hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, tell us your favorite part of it. Please do. Was it the Dark Agartha that the big updates of Dark Agartha? Was it the fact that you could go and beat on another big boss again? Was it all the Krampus running around? Was it the investigation mission? Rerunning through that and seeing Jimmy's name in that too.
Yes, I'm in there. Jim with the kid with the bunny.
That makes sense. Try to remember to log in every day for daily rewards, right? Because if you did the full 15 days of daily rewards, there was a one of the new, where is it? I got it right here. The Resplendent Talisman Imbuer. Can improve any epic or above radiant talisman to Resplendent. Whichever one got if you did the full 15-day login on any character. Right? The holiday rewards were actually character dependent, not not account dependent. Is that right? Or am I messing up?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So so if you did that on 6 characters, then you got yourself 6 imbuers.
Right, but the imbuers weren't tradable.
Right. Right, because the one you got from that is character bound, so it's not like you can. Right, that would have been a bit of a borking the system, if you will.
We're just doing evil laughs over here.
I can still hear it.
I think it's really
all
fun.
the evil laughs. Evil laugh being one of the emotes from the new Dark Agartha content. And how did you acquire that?
Oh, I bought that one. The sprint. I have the sprint that I opened, but I've been running highest difficulty since like the beginning of the event, and only ever got one thing. So when I saw the evil laugh up there, I was like, yoink. And to be honest, I already have a Moon's spacesuit lined up to buy. I just gotta farm some more fragments. Probably in a day or two, I'll have bought that from somebody. Because the drop rate for stuff is, or I don't know if it's a drop rate. The RNG is pretty high.
Okay.
Like what is her name on Discord? I want to say Undead Wraith. Something like
pretty
that.
High, or do you mean pretty low?
Pretty low, like.
Yeah.
Like there's another person that's been running it like every day, basically, and just now got like the sprint. You know. And I think at least for the first couple of days, I was running challenge mode on my alt as well because I had enough marks to afford it.
Okay.
So I wasn't not only doing Jimmy every day, but even the alts for the first couple of days at least were doing the challenge mode. Because it's the challenge mode you have to have active to have a chance of getting the cosmetics.
Right.
So that's I have agents to deal with. Oh, look. Wait, I can't hit the right key.
What are you doing?
The duo. The duo.
Oh, I thought you meant look on my screen. Look on your screen. The duo.
It's so great. I'm leveling them finally. I had to level the vampire person first.
What mission are they on right now? What are Andy and Nicole
doing? They are on murders in the city.
Okay.
So your intrepid duo is off solving a series of murder in Mexico City. which gotta bring up the picture. Yeah.
That seems about right.
Right? And I keep I saw for a split second when they complete a mission, there's like return text.
Yes.
Like the agents have a quote. And I saw it for a split second, and I'm too used to clicking.
Just
fast,
going through it, right? Yeah.
Because I've seen all of them on everyone else, and I was like, no, wait. I think it was something about it's okay that's on fire or something. But I need to pay more attention next time I turn in a mission.
It's okay. We'll get that. We'll fix that later.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
I mean, what we've seen Andy delete jump pads. We've seen him delete mission.
delete. Yeah, delete.
Just inadvertently be like, oh, whoops.
If he's not deleting, he's leaving stuff around.
Right.
If not both.
I remember the jump pad. The jump pad was
dead.
The jump pad was a fun one that he deleted that one time.
Didn't he put balloons in place of?
He did, yes. He's put like a little stack of balloons on top of the jump pad to be like, this is where it's supposed to be, and it's not there anymore. So it goes.
Hi, Hollow Point.
Hey, Hollow Point, how are you? What's Skylady saying? How many of those do you have now?
Of what? The agents?
Or of, or do you mean characters? Is it characters? Skylady, explain yourself.
Oh, the Imbuers? I'm done.
Oh, about the Imbuers. Oh, he's got them all. Yeah.
Yeah, I finished. I'm 179 shards towards my next one that I'm gonna trade for a spacesuit.
For the spacesuit, yeah. For the Moons of Madness suit.
Yeah, so see, my new headpiece is legendary 13 and 4 pip, and the other new pieces are purple and both are 4 pip. Then everything else is 4 pip. They need, so.
And now basically, we're talking about what was the new best in slot items, and
yes.
Many of the new items that they released in the is it the Agartha cache? The Arsenal.
Yeah, this guy.
The Dark Agartha Arsenal cache.
Yeah, this guy right here.
That a lot of these items are now kind of best in slot, and a lot of them just straight up summon something to come and attack for you.
Yeah, all 3 of the talismans actually summon something. So yeah.
The Ring of the Hollow Tree, the Ashes of Fates, and the Anima Infused Keepsake. Right, they all do.
They all summon something, yeah.
They all summon something similar to the Shadowbound weapons summon something. So it's basically, the way that I see it is, it's basically forming your own pet class. Because as you're saying, yeah, if you combine that with like the chaos doppelgangers, and then you can combine it from the ones with the museum.
I couldn't remember if I leveled the neck piece. I apparently did. I have the neck piece that spawns a goat at legendary summon. Or not a goat, a ghost. Sorry, I misspoke. Wow. Can it spawn a goat? That would be even better.
Ooh.
It spawns a ghost. It's legendary 70, so I just need another Imbuer to 4-pip this guy. And I can just have a complete spawning set. I already have the blade. I already have the Shadowbound Blade of Energy Mark III ready to go.
Who was the thing I was watching? I think I was watching one of PJ's streams here on Twitch, and one of the mini.
I think he spawns Fate, and I believe he spawns the Custodian. Check and
the
see
Custodian, the mini Custodian, just jumped out and attacked something, and then Fate jumped out and attacked something, and I was like, okay, all right, we can now just have stuff attacking everything. Yeah. And as far as we know, those are all still dropping, right? Like, that wasn't turned off for the winter.
No, it wasn't turned off. The Dark Agartha Arsenal caches are still dropping.
Okay. So we still have the winter cache is still dropping, and the Arsenal is still dropping too. So if you want those, they're still out there. And if you don't want to, if you don't want to pay for the keys, yeah, you could buy them off the auction house from other people who are trading them.
So a lot of people didn't realize at first, but like the locksmith guy has a little vendor next to him now called the Squire, who sells you the Dark Agartha Arsenal for 100 marks.
Oh, he's cute.
So, but I guess these are character bound. So the ones you get in the open world are tradable and sellable. But the ones you buy from him are character bound.
So are the winter cache ones. They're bind when picked up, so.
Yes, you're correct. I was just gonna double check that. So it's interesting. People are like hoarding them, and buying them off the auction house, the tradable ones, so that they'll have them to resell once the winter cache is turned off. Sometime in June or something.
Right. I mean, that's not a. But who knows? But who knows if that one they'll keep on anyway? Because Dark Agartha is more of a all year round thing, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how long the Arsenal will stay. I mean, the idea is it's a new type of cache, and so they can rotate it differently, potentially.
Right. I mean, that's what you see. That's what you see generally in games that use caches. That they're always kind of going through all the caches that they have before, or that they're bringing back, or they'll bring back for a limited time, and they're gonna go through them.
Who the heck will not have hunters those from just playing the game? Asks Zen. Well, the difference is the Dark Agartha Arsenal caches drop less often. I want to say Leo was guessing like a 10-to-1 ratio. You definitely still get more winter caches than you do Arsenal caches. So,
I'll say, but if you play the game
your
enough, you're still going to
mileage
end
may
up with a
vary.
whole bunch of them.
Your okay, Zen. Your mileage may vary, but in general, they're more rare. Everyone's RNG, especially in Secret World, is different.
No, it's horrendously different.
It's crazy. It's crazy different. You learn to hate the people with good RNG.
I mean, I still have yet to actually get a any agent drop from any mission.
There you go.
I've not seen one drop. I don't believe they actually do.
You know what's funny? I was running dungeons because I've been farming them to level up the new gear. Yeah, Chikasu got 3 peculiar boxes in one. Now, what sucks about getting 3 peculiar boxes in one night is you only got 1 because it's a unique item. So it tells
so you can't have 2.
It tells you when it drops, hey, look what you got. You can only have 1. Bye. Oh, no, but he's still the one. Okay, so I'm sorry. He still had 1 from the other night. So all 3 that he got went away because he already had 1.
They were ruined, right?
So, yeah, it's just sometimes you have crazy good luck and sometimes you don't.
Like winning the lottery, but they're like, but we can't give you the ticket. Sorry. Like you already won once. We can't.
I got my first peculiar box from a dungeon the other night, or the other day. I was very surprised. I'd never seen it. I didn't know that it had its own little picture okay, so the time I got them before was from opening green bags. Right?
Right.
And when you open a green bag, it just shows up in your missions items, and I think you hear a little sound effect, like this weird clink. And then if you look in your thing, it says like, oh, you got a peculiar box or whatever.
Okay.
But when you get it from the dungeon loot, like when you open the dungeon loot box, and it shows you the distillate this that you got, boom, big red icon of the peculiar box. And I was like, holy crap, I've never seen that before, Because even though I've got one before, it didn't have a visual display like that.
Look what you have. Do not delete this. This is special.
And then they've had 4 peculiar boxes so far, but only 1 fierce glyph that I found myself. Or 1 intricate fierce glyph. That's crazy.
I can believe that, though. Because I don't think I've seen an intricate glyph. Or, no, I think I have, but just not.
Intricate fierce
are
very pretty rare. Yeah. You know what? Here's the problem. I don't know if technically intricate fierce are more rare than, say, an intricate hit or something, right? The problem is you need 5 intricate fierce.
That's true, right? Yeah.
You need one hit.
You need a lot more of the fierce, and you need a lot more of the.
You need two.
No,
two
really,
crit,
just
no,
just
yeah,
fierce.
you need 2 crit power and 1 hit. So it's fierce. Everyone needs a lot of fierce, right? And so even if their drop rate was the same, they're 5 times more scarce because you need them 5 times as much.
We're like, oh, I got an intricate, devastating glyph, and it's like, oh, that's nice.
Well, devastating's not bad. That's still sellable. It's the hit ones that are like.
Because they're everywhere.
Well, the hit one you okay, if you're in way high tiers, you need 2 hit. But for 90% of the game, right? You need 1 hit. That's it. Whereas the crit power, you need 1 for each weapon, and if you have multiple weapons, which a lot of people do, you generally want to put another.
You want to put them all
weapon.
on the different weapons, yeah.
Now, I'm one of those weirdos that started out from TSW, and so, all my weapons have fierce glyphs. I actually have 2 crit power in my talismans, and my weapons are double crit. It works out to the same. The problem is I need a lot more fierce.
You need a lot more crits, yeah.
I need a lot more fierce glyphs. The cheaper way to do it, right? The cheaper way to do it
the other way around.
Is just get your talismans set up because you generally have 1 set of talismans, and then you have lots of weapons, so you do crit power on them, so because they're easier to get. But how we did it, or how I did it in TSW was 2 crit power on the Talisman, so the crit power is always there, and then just crit on the weapons. So yeah, I did it the expensive way. It works out to the same math, right? It's the same number of stuff. I just did it the more expensive route. And once I had done it, like, it was too late. There's no going back. I'm done.
No.
Yeah, it's whatever.
No, I guess you can maybe switch out a couple of them, but yeah, no. If you have it on every weapon,
I could pull out a crit power and put in a fierce, but then I have to like level new crit power for all the other ones, and it's like they already have fierce, so it was just oh, dead chicken suit's the same. Yeah, the intricate evasive, like, no one cares about. Any of the tank glyphs are like, delete them. Like, they're just,
yeah,
it's kind of sad.
Fold them into the lower ones, or yeah, just sell them off.
I mean, I will say this though, like, a lot of people like seem to be like, oh, this wasn't a thing in TSW. Like, you needed healers and you needed tank stuff. Like, I was like, not really.
No.
Like, when you were in the upper levels, you were always had like, if you had a healer at all, he was a leech DPS, right? You had an assault rifle that was doing damage and just barely healing, or you were like a heal tank, right? Or a DPS tank, or any number of like combinations. But like, the idea was like, just don't take a healer. Like, you want as much DPS as possible.
Carlini says, so sick of people comparing this to TSW, it's getting old now. Oh, yes. Very much so.
Where do you put the second accurate glyph was a question from Zen. So what I did is I just put it in my wrist. It goes in a Talisman. It doesn't really matter what Talisman you put it in.
Because Talismans kind of level up no matter what one you put them on.
It doesn't affect it. It doesn't affect it.
It's not like the, you know...
like, it affects your IP rating. The glyphs in your weapons count for more item power than the glyphs in a Talisman. Or at least in my lower Talismans. Like, it's just a number thing. They don't have more stats, but they count for higher IP.
Okay, alright.
Which is weird. But if you're ever looking to, like... It's a note for people that are trying to level up into tiers, right? If you're E4 and trying to level into an E5 tier... level that glyph on your weapon. It's going to pump your item power number faster. I did not level
because the item power is not, the item power is not balanced necessarily, but the, like, okay, the like the neck talisman and the rings and the bracelets have higher power rating.
Right.
Than
well, it goes
than the below.
Head, major, minor.
Right.
And those are like heads the most power rating. Then your majors are all the same, a little bit lower. Minors are all the same, lower than that. But then weapons, I think, are kind of similar to head.
Sort of
as
head.
Far as like
head major, yeah.
Yeah, weapons are kind of like the head as far as like they're more powerful. They contribute more power rating. But because of that, for whatever reason, in the math that calcs your actual item power number, you know, a glyph that gives you 1272 crit rating, so let's do crit power. A glyph that gives you 1238 crit power rating, right? Oh wait, I have to compare crit rating because I have crit rating. 1270 crit rating in your Talisman, in a minor, it's the same crit rating when you put it in your weapon.
Mm-hmm.
But if you level the one in your weapon first, your item power goes up faster than if you level the one in your minor Talisman.
So I guess it also works backwards too. Like if you put it in if you want to level up your minor talismans, glyphs and whatnot first, then your character will actually kind of be a little overpowered.
They'll be stronger for your level.
For the level that you're in.
Most people pushing are trying to like hit that next tier.
Right.
Right. And the reason you're trying to hit that next tier is that next dungeon level gives you better distillates.
Better stuff, yeah.
Right, like more XP. Rarely if you're pushing to get into the high content are you looking to make it easier. You're more just looking to get the better reward quicker.
But we also started discussing that.
I mean, some people do want to make life easier for themselves, right? I get that, 100%. I understand what you're saying.
Right.
But generally, those aren't the people pushing their IP up really hard either.
That's true.
that's all I was saying. Like, if you're looking to push your IP, you can use your offhand weapon, which doesn't count. Like, you use the glyph in your offhand weapon only when the offhand weapon is active. And actually, funny note, like in the inverter, as soon as you cast the Manny, it's no longer using the glyph from there. It's using the glyph from your main weapon. They patched it so you have to level the weapon itself now. It used to be you could just run a blue inverter, because as soon as you cast the Manny and you switch to your main weapon, it was reading the power rating off of your main weapon and not the weapon that cast it. It reads it off the active weapon, right? They did a specific patch for the inverter because that was broken as hell. Everyone was like max reds with a blue inverter. They patched that specifically for the inverter, but it only affected the weapon itself. The glyph stat still gets read off your active main weapon.
Okay.
So like it's only running off of that weapon's stats when you cast the Manny. As soon as you switch to your main weapon and cast anything, it's now reading the glyph stat off of your main weapon.
Ah, okay.
But the reason
so that was a way to basically kind of not make the secondary weapon really any use.
So you could just not put a glyph in your inverter and it's basically fine. But the reason you level the glyph in your offhand weapon before, say, one in your talismans is if you're trying to push your IP up. Because it's going to bump...
Because the weapon IP.
Because weapons with glyphs bump your IP up quicker. We call it an IP stick. Just dump XP into your IP stick. It artificially boosts your item power without really doing much for you in the way of actual power. But it'll get you over that next little hump to get into the next dungeon level to be running for better distillates.
But you'll be running for better distillates, but you won't be as powerful.
The thing is, if you're in like a 5-man dungeon group, it's not that big a deal.
True.
You might not be able to do the Dark Agartha of your level, or it might be a lot harder, right?
I would say true, yeah. If you do anything that's solo content, or
but if it's group content, it's not really an issue. You're maybe doing slightly less DPS, but it's not going to be.
You can still do the content. The content is actually probably tuned a little down, maybe. Like, is a dungeon is like I guess what I'm asking is a
dungeon should be tuned to 5 people, but it's like of that range, and probably of the lower of the range.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah, isn't it like an E5 dungeon? Is it tuned to like the bare?
Also, you figure they probably were tuned for having a healer and not for DPS.
Oh, true.
Right? So that's something to consider.
Because I'm thinking of, I remember one time reading something, it was an interview with someone in Star Trek Online, I believe, and they said that basically whenever they make a new content, even though the characters themselves are running the content with, like, you know, their most powerful ship and their most powerful whatever, that they actually just run the content with a ship that has, like, all common weapons, like not even rare weapons or not even whatever weapons. They run it with like the very, very least possible weapons and see if they can pass it. And if they can, then they're like, oh, this is good content then. This is okay. It's like, you know, that's an okay difficulty way for it. So that anyone who actually does play it will have better content and they'll have an easier time, but it won't be like, I guess because it's story content in that game, they're kind of like, doesn't matter. Just, you know, you're playing the story content. We don't want this to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, that's how Secret World's always done it. Like, the story content's based on like a pretty low base value of what you should have
very low baseline. Yeah.
Had by that point in the game. You can beat the game on, well, I beat it with no talismans at all in level 1 green weapons.
You beat it at 1 IP.
1 item power. So, I mean, that should tell you something. Like, granted, I had a lot of capstones and passives, but still.
I was saying, but I think that was the real takeaway from that experiment, was not necessarily that you had 1 IP and how actually like little IP kind of mattered in completing the content, but it was
how much passives and capstones matter.
Right, yeah, how more important the actual passives and that mattered even more than gear does.
Zen says the drawback with the Golem is because it has apparently tons of mechanics most people do not get to see. Yeah, so I don't know if that's like something they introduced. Oh, grats on the agent drop, JG.
Just had an agent drop from what? A mission or from what? What content was it? Tell me.
Inquiring minds like to know. You know what? I should. You know what? Maybe we can just go do that. We can go look at the. I can go look at that mission with the golem. Actually, do you want to come to that mission? Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure one of those mechanics that was happening a lot in solo doesn't seem to happen so much anymore, but I saw it when I was in there with my pacifist character with Chicken Stew. He was doing with me. And then I saw one of the mechanics that apparently no one's seeing anymore. The golem at the end of South Africa. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, he does like a laser beam that follows you around. Yes. Apparently no one sees that anymore.
No?
It's really rare. But what the pacifist character, I needed a partner because when he sits down and you have to attack him, I can't do that. Right? So Chicken Stew came in and helped me, and when the two of us were in there, he did that mechanic. But it was only on one of us. I think it was because there was two targets, right? He was like, "Oh, let me attack you with this and you with that."
He's like I'm really not used to facing two people in this.
I mean, it is a groupable. It's not a solo instance.
Right.
It is because a lot of story stuff is
solo. Yeah.
Solo, yeah.
Because I'm still probably the great majority who still run it solo. But it is kind of nice to have that option to run it grouped.
I believe it's Into the Fold. Yeah.
Sit down.
Is that you killing stuff? The outside?
No.
I just shared the mission to you. Did you get it?
No.
Really? I'll try again.
There it goes.
Alright, so if you have to like jump in the warehouse, I think. Did you jump through the warehouse window? Yeah, I see.
I missed. Yeah.
I saw you jump past. That was funny. There you are. Okay. Let me just do the chair. I'm curious. Last time I did this was with Chicken Stew, and I did see it. But there was a discussion in Discord, and like apparently many people are not seeing that mechanic anymore. And also not seeing the detonation matrix. Which is the laser grid like explosion.
So you think they tuned down the golem at the end?
Either they tuned it down or they accidentally broke it.
Right. Both are definite possibilities.
And Zen doesn't remember the laser grid either. Oh shit! I think I killed you.
I didn't remember that.
I think I hit the pad, but it killed you.
Yeah, it totally did.
There should be an achievement for that, like there is in Occult Defense.
Like kill your friends, yeah.
There's an achievement for that in Occult Defense.
Oh, I think we got that. Didn't we kill Imbuer?
Yeah, yeah. It was
I think one of the last times we ran Occult Defense.
Yeah.
We're like, let's kill everybody. Let's do it.
Can you kill the cat? I don't think so, but you can not die to the cat. It's possible to not die to the cat. It's also possible to one-shot those guys.
I would say, I don't even know what build I have right now. I got a shot in.
It's an illusion. Uh-oh. Triggered more spikies.
I forget what this one is off the top of my head. We follow him this way.
Yeah. Scary boulders. Let me know how the game volume is, you guys, because I did turn it up a bunch for the evil laugh. I'm not sure.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Oh!
Watch out.
Oh!
Watch out, watch out.
Hey! Yo! Hey! Hey! Oh! Hey!
Looks like your pet is getting repeatedly skewered.
But he's cute though.
Did we dream you?
That spider is no more.
What spider? You saying there was supposed to be a spider there? Not just a corpse on the floor?
With the animation spider until you kill the web on yourself. Yeah, well, you have to tell people to stuff like that because otherwise they won't know to do it. I'm actually really good they actually did that.
Is someone out there?
Well, look, it's Tron. Is
Just
someone
go.
out there? You know this is Tron, right?
Is it?
He did the voice, yeah.
Oh, nice.
This is the guy that sells you stuff once you rescues him. The Council Venice vendor that's in South Africa. Like, after this mission, like, he gets unlocked and then you can go buy stuff. Like the costume and stuff.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah, whenever he's talking, that's Tron.
I just figured it was too generic. I didn't realize it was like, oh, that guy I saved. He's now a thing now. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the Council Venice guy that you saved. Let's see, you just examine the last one.
Shh! Someone's coming.
Then this guy shows up.
Ah.
And immediately dies. That's how that works.
I'll just try, sir.
Well, there is the key. We can go open the cage that Tim was talking about. With the cat. Just gotta jump up here.
Oh, so you gotta jump on top, though, right? Yeah.
If you don't want to die.
It's been a while. Been a while since I ran this. When? It's cute.
Oh! I got half his health down before he did a bite and he instantly killed me.
I want to follow him. How far does he go? He's still going.
I think he disappears. Doesn't he disappear? Or are you still following him?
No, I got one of those mines got in the way. Heck, you might run into him again.
What build am I in? Change builds here.
Yeah, hold on. I need to do that too.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I don't really need to change builds.
You'll be fine.
I'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah, so these are the pinpoints for the laser grid. These little red.
Oh, you already went up.
Things. Yeah, I'm up here. It hasn't started yet, but I'm up here.
There we go.
I'll let this play out. I like the cinematic. Hey, Dark Hearts.
Oh, hey, giant statue. What the?
Guests. You should not be here. My husband receives guests.
She walks out of the door that says, "Behold, a stranger comes in from the darkness." Looks like that little point there.
Children, come. We have guests to receive. Lovely guests. They smell like stars.
That's my deodorant.
Stars.
Smells like stars.
Stars.
You will be received.
Stars by Axe.
Children, join me. The family is closed. The family.
And that phase is over.
Wait, what phase are we waiting for? The big golem.
The
right?
golem fight, yeah.
Okay, so not this
Go get him, Mini Jimmy. Go get him. So that is that your revenue?
Yes, probably.
So it HP locks, and then it won't go away until it finishes its dialogue.
Oh, so might as well. Yeah. We can keep attacking him, but...
Is it the same animation? It's the same animation as Facility. The end of Facility, basically. Helena.
Power. The sleeping mouths whisper a riddle. And the riddle is, power can make you weak. You were given power. Such power. You've leaned upon it for so long. But now, I've taken your power. What are you without it?
He's looking at you like, I've taken your power. Holy crap, that's a lot of power.
Less than nothing.
But he made one mistake. He didn't take my rabbit mask.
He didn't take the true source of your power.
Or my sweet new jacket. With the Misfits logo on the back.
Which way? Oh, hold up. Found them. You're in it deep, hey, hero. Bad trip, man. Hey, don't worry, Dr. Che's got the medicine.
I would have never imagined when I first started playing TSW that this guy mattered at all.
For I have sinned.
Right?
It's been a dog's age since my last confession.
But he is one of the top Star Trek voice actors, so...
To be fair...
They'd be fools not to use him.
Just that I'd get you into his house. After you got me the goods, I was just gonna leave you here to rot. Run off. Fall back on my sin-shitty ways. But I had a change of conscience. Religious experience. I got a call. He wants to talk to you.
Hiya, Chuck. You and I have got some fucking big... But...
Why are all the buttons on the bottom of that?
And this is
Why did he hand us a TI-84 calculator?
Like, this isn't a phone, it's a calculator.
What did you hand us?
I do like when he says B seeing you, the subtitle has 2 E's.
Yes.
That's a little nice touch. Zen says, kind of nice touch. This Randall from all the way back in Kingsmith comes back at the end. Well, he comes back in Tokyo as well. And that's the thing is, like, here's the thing, when you replay the game with a new character, right? And after you've played the whole game a few times, Morning Light is everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
But for some reason, I honestly feel like they did a really good job at understating them. Yes, they're everywhere, but they're very dismissible.
They seem innocuous. Yeah, they seem like,
you're just like,
oh,
yeah,
it's
whatever.
Oh, yeah, it's a crazy cult. But the crazy cult is literally everywhere.
Yeah, like, they're everywhere, involved in everything, and it's really like bravo to them for basically like hiding one of the biggest villains of the game in plain sight throughout the whole game.
It's even called, right, the hippie camp, not the morning light camp.
No, I'm saying they did a really good job at sort of like downplaying them, even though they are like even in Transylvania, right? That one girl is very afraid of them, and like the castle has that jackass that's a morning light guy, and like you start to get the feeling that they're more, or at least parts of them are more messed up.
What? You? No.
All right. Now, what are we waiting for now?
I made you.
We want to see if he does his laser.
No matter.
Okay.
I've seen who
Here's
you are.
raising fist.
Right.
So now I will destroy.
There it is.
That's a laser.
Proton
That's
howitzer.
A laser. That's a
run,
laser.
run, Mikey, run! You're dropping blue behind you, by the way, that we can't
That's
stand
cool.
in later. That's the
Oh,
blue
no.
laser. I'm just letting you shoot because I think I'll force her to the next phase. I'm pretty sure I normally don't see the laser grid until the next phase anyways. Oh look, I got it! We got it twice!
Yeah.
And yes, look, you can leave a trail in the air. Look how cool that is. So if you thought that that mechanic doesn't happen, it totally can happen. Apparently twice.
This has been diverted, but I have worked.
Maybe, is it only with multiple people, maybe?
It used to be on solo. I for sure got it when I sold it on my alts and my main in the beginning when it first launched.
Take that better.
You can clip it, Zen, if you want. He's suffering some feedback. Maybe he should mute his Skype. Alright, let's see if we can get the... Okay, we got another howitzer. Look at this. Proton howitzer. I want the laser grid though.
Yep.
I will crush you.
I'm waiting for the detonation matrix.
I will let you go and keep you in a jar.
No, annihilation procedure.
Oh, I got howitzer again.
And he's back to the middle.
Alright, so on this will be like the last phase. Don't attack.
Okay.
I wanna see if we can get laser detonation.
Your efforts are futile. I will
By the way,
you pay.
laser detonation is when like these little points shoot out lasers and then they explode, right? The little red points on the walls.
Right.
I had it happen once where he was standing right on top of one of the lasers when it went off, and then he aggroed the wall and started attacking it. It was amazing.
How dare you?
Because it literally hurt him, and then he was like, "Screw you, wall!" It was just, it was I don't remember if I was able to clip it or not. I might not have been streaming when it happened, but it was great.
Now he
And the
just.
thing is, okay, you have the howitzer.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, you can't. I don't know. It's hard to replicate. For one, we've gotten howitzer like what? 6 times, 5 times. I don't even
Quite a
know.
bit now at this point, yeah.
And now this ends.
We've got fields of blue. There it is, detonation matrix. Ooh, it's gonna hit his leg, maybe. Maybe. No, he didn't care. That's detonation matrix. We did get the effect though. That's the other mechanic that people are claiming they haven't seen. Is the laser.
Okay, well that exists too. So.
Yeah, it happens. At least with two people.
Right. Solo it may not.
It should. But again, I feel like a lot of people are just too overgeared, and if you just smash them really fast, then it doesn't happen.
Oh, we got this again.
Jump! Jump! There you go. That's how you leave it in the air.
Alright, so should we take him out now?
I'll hit him with some basics.
Farahun's being like, you guys are being all like, this is serious. We're just like, is it?
Well, we got another detonation matrix.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess that hurt him before.
Best you can hope for is
No, I
Man,
finally
this room is on fire.
I finally decided to shoot him. Yeah. Yeah, no, we got a lot of the howitzer.
What is this power?
What is this power? It's called 4-tip talismans. That's what it is. Comes his hat. Can I catch it? Catch it? No. Damn it.
You can't get it on your head.
I always try and catch it. It never works.
Next time.
Can you imagine if you got a screen cap of like it just landing on top of the bunny head? Like, you know what I mean? That would be amazing.
Now, I guess you see your faction leader showing up?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. If you duo with someone of different faction, you see different scenes happening.
Yeah.
Not just different scenes, but different NPCs. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't a cinematic, but you see your faction person, right?
Yep. I see.
And you
I
hear
see Kirsten
and you
Geary.
hear your faction audio.
You put on a good show, my lovely. We're square for you running off. But now it's time for you to skedaddle home. We'll clean the mansion.
Checking her nails and everything.
Your next stop will be the Congo. This time you'll be cool, right? Yeah, you're cool. You
Yeah.
wait to get word from me when we've got Markard located and all of our bloody ducks in a row. No more half-cocked bourgeois, huh? Now, fade.
See, she says "chow" and he says "now fade."
Which is kind of eminently cooler.
But yeah. So we saw all the mechanics. They do exist. They do exist.
Go chase yourself.
Oh yeah, if you hang around, Diamond says go chase yourself.
Oh yeah. Geary's like, what? What are you doing? Still doing around? Do you think this was an invitation? Go away. I was gonna say, I don't think it was necessarily something. I think there was maybe more to this mission that was now taken out. When we were in the cell not too long ago,
Mm-hmm.
I had the boxing stuff up.
Wait, what?
Like it took away my weapons, and I had the boxing,
You had the boxing bar in the cell?
Yes, and I actually also had. I was actually doing the animation towards you. I was gonna ask, like, wait,
I
do we
saw
need to
that.
fight each other now?
I did see you going like this.
Yeah, I was like, wait, do we have to fight now? Like, why do I actually have the?
You know, I didn't even notice because I was busy using the cell. You might just not have your weapons in there.
And then as soon as you opened the door, as soon as the animation started, I heard the re-equipping sound, and all my weapons were re-equipped again. So I wonder if there was supposed to be more to that. I wonder if there's supposed to be
I instantly
like.
spammed use at the cell door. So maybe I didn't see that I had fists?
Maybe.
I actually have to go... you can't even really see my bar on the stream because of the overlay. I wouldn't even be able to tell on the clip.
Could you, like, maybe your last weapon might have something on there from the overlay? Like, you could see your last icon.
Yeah, you're right. You can't see the last one just barely. So on the VOD, we might be able to check and see. But I think in general, like once you're in there, you don't have your weapons. Like you've been stripped.
Right, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't make much sense then that we immediately get them back as soon as.
I assume they were just waiting in a pile outside the door.
which is terrible planning on their part.
Yeah. Right.
They're like, what do we do with these? What do we do with these weapons? Just leave them right outside his cell. That's.
Yeah.
Just tease him with them. Just tease him with the weapons. That's fine.
I wonder what happens if you hit the jump pad with the sprint.
With the sprint that you've got on?
Yeah, not much. Just crackles in the air.
Oh, it's not leaving a little trail.
Yeah, not really. Didn't look like it anyways. It's not like the amazing stuff that's like, you know, the moose or the flightless reindeer.
Right. Yours kind of has like a Pac-Man effect going on to it. It's leaving like the little yellow dots behind.
Does it? Fine. I didn't see that. Did it have the yellow dots?
Yeah, not on the jump.
Not in the air, but yeah, when you run around, it has it. And then
yeah.
Sometimes it'll have like a jolt too. Well, here it is, flightless reindeer. Hey, PJ. All right, so yeah, so if you do one of these guys, that looks wrong. I'm easily entertained. I'm just putting that out there. Anyways. Hey, at least we solved a little bit of a mystery, or you know, people were like Zen is new, like a bit newer to the game, and we were talking on Discord, and they like had no idea what mechanics we were talking about. So those mechanics do exist. You can see them.
It's just possible they don't necessarily exist on solo anymore. Maybe? I don't know.
I know they did them on solo at launch for sure, but I couldn't say if it's been tweaked at all. I do know though, like with Chicken Stew and I, he got the blue laser like once. We got that shit all kinds of times.
That room was on fire.
Yeah. That was crazy.
So maybe, I don't know, maybe it has something to do with maybe it's actually scaled. Maybe there was some scaling going on there. It also
could just be like he's randomly doing attacks, and I still think that like if you're constantly attacking and you're at anywhere near level for that mission, there's a good chance that you can skip some of those mechanics. You just won't see them. He doesn't get time to cast them. You know, he just decides to do an extra fist attack instead or something.
All right, and just to keep my streak going, I did not get an agent from completing that mission. Just
in case anyone was curious. No.
I was like, what would be the chances? Now would be the chances where it's like suddenly it appears.
You're hoping for that streamer luck, right?
Yeah, right. Clip that.
You're like, yes. I opened it on stream. Was there? Let's see. What else do we want to go over?
Yeah, you have the boxing actions on in the cell. Okay. Chicken Soup confirms boxing actions in cell.
PJ, I was not on time. This stream is never on time. The stream is supposed to start at 9. It was like 9:30. Which, for a 0 Point report, was actually pretty close.
It's actually fairly okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's more normal-ish for us.
Right.
About a half hour late. It wasn't an hour. We didn't start at 10, did we? I thought we started before 10.
No.
Did we not start before 10? Hold on.
I don't keep actual track of that.
We've been live for an hour and 30 minutes, so 9:40? Yeah.
No, yeah. I posted the tweet at 9:32, so
9:40, yeah.
and it wasn't that long after that.
We were like a half hour-ish late. Half hour, 40 minutes. Which is all like
fashionably late.
Legitimately about a normal starting time. Like
yeah. I mean we say 9 o'clock, but really it's like a little after.
By little we mean like 30 minutes.
Right. That's when we actually that's when we start the introduction. Sometimes.
Well, and I think this introduction has like a 10-minute counter, and I know we had to have gone over that 10-minute counter before.
Oh, all the
I know
time.
Ember has started that counter, and we've been not live for longer than 10 minutes before.
We ignore that counter all the time.
But I didn't.
No, this time it was as soon as
I
it's
was
done.
like, screw it, the counter's done, we're live.
Done, we're live. It's legit.
I was on time for Assassin's Creed night, more or less, but maybe a couple, 2 minutes or something.
Ooh, Assassin's Creed. Which one?
Rogue.
Oh, I haven't gotten to that one yet.
I'm back 5 games. So
I think I'm 2 games. I think I'm 2 games before I hit Rogue.
Oh my god! Wait. So you're on Assassin's Creed 2?
No.
Because Rogue is after Black Flag, I think.
Rogue is after Black Flag, yes. And
right.
I just completed Black Flag in 2019.
So Rogue should be next.
No, the next one is I forget the name off the top of my head.
No, Rogue is after Black Flag, isn't it?
No, there's one in between. It's not. I don't think it's a full game, but it is. And let me see real quick. Spreadsheets. Gotta love my spreadsheets.
2 Brotherhood Revelations, 3 Black Flag Rogue Unity.
No, 1, 2 Brotherhood Revelations, AC3, Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, 4 Assassin's Creed 4 is Black Flag, then Freedom Cry, then Rogue, then Unity.
Cry?
It's the was it Adewale? It follows him.
It's not even listed. When you search Assassin's Creed game order, it does not show up on the list. Period.
No?
Yeah.
No, Freedom Cry. Yeah, Freedom Cry's I've got it through YouTube.
Oh, it's a single player downloadable content edition for Black Flag.
Yes.
The DLC was okay. It's a DLC to Black Flag. It's not a separate game.
Oh, okay. All right.
The next game is Rogue.
I always imagined Freedom Cry being like an almost separate thing.
I mean, it's additional content, but it's additional content to Black Flag. That said, I don't know that I ever played that for Black Flag. But I was looking at the actual games themselves. The next game is Rogue. Right?
Okay. But Liberation was an entirely different game than Assassin's Creed.
I thought Liberation was...
It wasn't as big, but it was its own game.
It was like a weird... Wasn't it the PS something? Originally it wasn't... Wasn't it like a... no, I don't want to say mobile, but like a handheld game or something?
Liberation?
Yeah.
No, because it definitely played pretty much exactly like.
It was for the PlayStation Vita.
Creed 3. What was it?
Yes.
Oh, well, I played it through Steam, so I mean, it looked nicer, and it didn't feel like it was
originally an exclusive title for Vita. It was later re-released in 2014 for the PS3, Xbox 360, and Microsoft Windows.
Okay.
So that's another reason I skipped that one, because when you look at PC game launches, it was a Vita exclusive originally. You know what I mean?
That one's I guess kind of it's kind of skippable. It was okay. It wasn't certainly of the same size as the other ones. It was a much quicker game.
Right.
It was a much quicker Assassin's Creed.
That said, I'm not sure. I might have actually played some of that a long time ago. It seems familiar. But yeah. So I made Wednesdays. Like I felt like I needed to like change things up a little bit and like also just chew through some of my damn Steam backlog.
Yes.
I'm
the
back.
backlog.
I'm back 5 full Assassin's Creed games. Not DLC, not PSP Vita exclusive. 5 games.
Well, let's see.
So
There's let's see. Right there's After Liberation. There's Black Flag, Freedom Cry, Rogue, Syndicate, Unity. Then the Chronicles, China, India, and Russia, and then Odyssey is the latest one, right?
And then Origins.
Origins, then Odyssey. Or is it Odyssey, then Origins?
I have the list somewhere.
Okay.
Chicken Stew's going to turn this into the Assassin's Creed report.
Was it the China, India, and Russia are like side-scrolling.
Yeah, I'm not counting those.
Yeah.
I
do, but...
I totally get that, but like for my list, I just went straight for like the solid PC games, which is why the Liberation, right, wasn't on it.
Wasn't on it, right?
Yeah, that's why it wasn't on it. But even with just main games, that's 5 full games that I have to chew through. I mean, I'm almost halfway through Rogue.
Okay, that's not bad.
If you just beeline the story, it doesn't take that long. And that not trying. I'm 100%ing the sequences, but I'm not like doing all the activities and naval battles and gang warfare. Like I'm just following the storyline.
Yeah, no, I actually love the Assassin's Creed series. It's one of those like guilty pleasure ones where it's like sometimes it's like, oh man, I just need to play an Assassin's Creed, and which is why I basically have done like all of them up to a certain point and doing them in order. But I 98%ed Black Flag.
Nice.
Which is stunningly ridiculous.
No.
Like I think the only thing I missed was like on some of the really hard missions, like getting all the synchronicity of them, of like the really harder missions.
I feel like they've made it easier though in the later Assassin's Creed. Like everything's got like a marker for the most part, right?
Yeah. Like
all the little collectibles like now have map markers.
I want to say they. Like,
I remember on PlayStation, I platinumed Assassin's Creed 2, and none of those little damn flags or feathers or whatever crap they were had any kind of marker. Like, you just had to go find them.
Oh, see, no, I maybe that was on the PlayStation because I remember those absolutely having having markers on them.
No, I remember. I'm pretty positive on when I played on. It was like PS3, like Assassin's Creed 2. I want to say, like yeah, it didn't. I was like looking up guides, like where is this thing again?
Like I know in Assassin's Creed 1 they didn't tell you where everything was.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in 2 was broke. Like one of the achievements was broken. I tried for a year to throw coins at hookers. Like. I threw so many coins, cause you could pay them, and then they would be like your rolling
your entourage, yeah.
But yeah, you would hide.
Mm-hmm.
There was an achievement for like spending X amount of coins, and it was broken on the PlayStation 3. So I was just throwing money like nonstop at them, and it wasn't working. I literally got pissed off and like came back a year later, updated the game, and like tried again. And I think even then it wasn't like it took many hours of throwing money to get that damn achievement.
I have a question for you. Now, as a follow up to this, when you see a prostitute in real life now, like walking down the street or do you suddenly have the inclination to throw money at them?
Change. Tosh.0 does or Daniel Tosh, he does a bit about that, about throwing change. So I'm gonna make it sprinkle instead of make it rain.
Instead of make it rain.
So I'm a baller on a budget, bitch. Wee.
I'm gonna make it drizzle up in here.
He says make it hail. He probably has changed up the line depending on which.
Hail is more appropriate.
He said he has for sure. He said sprinkle before, but those kind of things tend to go through revisions depending on what set you see or whatever. So I fully expect he's said different variations on that joke.
I just remember there was one time I forget what I was reading, but it was sort of like a experiences from people who did game testing, and this one guy was tasked with, it was like a first person shooter. I don't know which one, but they were tasked with basically firing the guns and firing like all the different guns and all different weapons at the background scenery to see if it would like do anything, if it would affect anything, like, and I mean like the far background scenery, like firing it at like the rivers and whatnot and mountains in the background.
Sure.
And they said that they had him basically do this for like a couple months straight, where he was just basically just firing weapons at the mountains and whatnot in the background. And he said it kind of messed him up because he went on vacation like soon afterwards, and they went to see like the Rocky Mountains or something like that, and all he could do in his head was just picture firing ammunition at the mountains.
You know what'd be awesome right now? Shooting at that mountain.
Add permitted term. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I allowed
automod that.
I allowed Chicken Stew's
yeah, no, that's
comment. I just didn't notice it was blocked at first. Let's see.
So that's my imagination, is like, I spent so long throwing money at hookers.
Did we go through our stuff?
We went through some of it. We didn't go through all of it.
Some of it. We went through
Krampusnacht has ended. That right. Ended, and they updated it, the individual pickup item that you get, so that they no longer have to have another update.
Right, went through that.
So that you could change it into anima shards anymore for any event now. So that was nice. Right. That's a nice update. Much easier for us, much easier for them, much easier for everybody all around. They patched on December 18th that the Resplendent Talisman Imbuers and Resplendent Talisman Fragments now show up on the auction house.
That they do, I can assure you.
That was missing. So that's good. That's good now. The Shady Salesman was adjusted. The Shady Salesman has adjusted his break time to line up with the Dark Agartha reset timer. Okay. Sure. That's good.
Yeah, so there was the resets were, well, the resets between the challenge and the Dark Agartha challenge and everything else was off anyways. I think they fixed that.
So I guess it lined up a
also, the Shady Salesman guy like goes away prior to the reset, so that you can't buy a challenge timer without enough time to complete it, if that makes sense.
Yes, yeah, totally.
That's why they make him go away, and when the reset happens, he shows back up.
Right, because if you pick something up, but there's not enough time to actually defeat it, yeah, that's kind of...
Yeah, I forget what the exact time is. I don't know if it's like 15 minutes or something, but at some point before the reset, he goes away, so you can't accidentally spend 10k off on something you're not going to be able to use.
Well, that's good. I mean, everyone deserves a break. he deserves to go get a coffee or something, you know. The bright yellow of Agartha has to be kind of bad on your eyesight if you're there 24 hours. I imagine.
What if anyone's selling an Imbuer? Unless just Fragments.
But also wanted to point this out, that if you follow us, you know that we're big fans of Blodwedd Mallory. Blodwedd Mallory has all kinds of novelizations of different Secret World missions, as shown from her character's perspective. And she has a new novella, which is all about the Black House. So if you want to go ahead and read through a short novel, a novella, all about the Black House, you can get it for free by signing up for the Unofficial Legends of the Secret World newsletter, which is through bookfunnel.com.
Very nice.
Is what she has there, which, I mean, I own all of her books. I think it's super cool.
Very cool.
But I just post a link there. So if you go to her website, blodweddmallory.com, she has a post up where you can sign up for the newsletter and go ahead and get the Black House for free. That guy's dressed spiffy.
He also looks very purple.
He did look.
I think.
They should put the shady deal at the coffee machine in Axel's when he is on break. I like it. So then if you bother him on break and you get the stuff, well, then you get what you deserve.
I got stuck. I got stuck. Okay, now. There's a way.
What are you doing? What are you doing up here?
I'm trying to get stuck on purpose.
Of course.
There's a way to get stuck over here that slash stuck actually gets you out of. Which in and of itself is a minor miracle. It's like it's right here, I think, somewhere. I can't get it now. Dang it. I don't remember what the process is. There's a specific process me and Headshot used to do. And it requires a max height male character to do it too.
And it's not me.
If a max height male character, you can get yourself stuck here. And then you'll just be like sort of glitching up and down in the air. Unless they fixed it. I don't think so.
I'm just gonna get myself some clove cigarettes here and from this vendor. Give myself a college flashback.
I feel like, I don't know, something looks different. Maybe they changed the geometry here. Something doesn't look the same as it used to. Like, I can stand on top of these. I don't think I used to be able to do that. Weird.
I mean, on my screen, you're jumping from all kinds of weird angles now. Like, you just kind of appeared 10 feet above me.
Yeah.
To fall down onto that section. So even my client is like, I don't know what he's trying to do.
It's like, no, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm not standing on anything.
I would say aside from that, the Conan Exiles holiday contest ended and had a whole bunch of nice winning screenshots.
Yes. Yeah, that was a pretty crazy contest.
It's like some really cool.
I can bring that up actually. I believe. Probably. Maybe. Let's see here.
I don't know exactly what the holiday contest was. It seemed to be recreations.
There we go.
That's what it feels like. Yeah, I can see it. Like, the first one is a creative recreation, the grand prize winner, of the opening scene to the Addams Family movie. Sure, why not?
Wait, I don't want a full screen. That's not gonna work. Can I watch on YouTube? There we go. That's be better.
So it's almost shot for shot, basically.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la.
That was pretty great.
Not bad, not bad. Then yeah, the runners up. The runners up actually, like that was good. The runners up kind of blow me away.
Yeah, the Christmas cottage.
Yeah, Christmas Cottage is okay. The South Park one's impressive.
That's, you know what's impressive about that is like how large scale that looks.
How tall they have to be. Yeah, those
Right,
are
like,
the size of mountains.
Yeah, like that's crazy large. What is that one of?
I don't know that one off the top of my head. It kind of looks like the Baba Yaga hut, kind of chicken legs.
Mrazek?
But I don't know.
Huh. Okay, I believe that's Christmas Vacation?
Yes, National Lamp. This is the one that impresses me. Like, why didn't this one win?
Yeah,
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation House.
That one's pretty good.
That's excellent.
This is Scrooge?
A Christmas Carol from 2009, the animated Christmas Carol. Which is not the best Christmas
they
Carol.
did all these individual scenes, it looks like, though.
Yes, yeah, they
like,
did.
Here's the original, right? And then, like, here's...
They did 12 scenes.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
That is cool. But as we all know, and I'm saying as we all know, the 2009 Christmas Carol is not the good Christmas Carol. The best Christmas Carol is Muppets Christmas Carol.
Muppets Christmas Carol.
By
so
far.
We have Polar Express, which looks pretty sweet. That's where all the kids sit.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
I'm not sure. It is a different Polar Express.
Huh. Maybe did they build that on top of an actual...
It looks like they did a
mountain?
top-down view of the train.
Huh. I like this Bad Santa. So there's like the original scene, and then like the Conan Exile scene. It's pretty great.
Conan Exile scene actually kind of makes it look more appropriate.
Right? It almost looks
like
it almost looks better somehow.
More authentic.
Did anyone actually post some more? That looks like... Is that the Christmas cottage? Maybe just like more pictures? The inside looks crazy.
I'm scrolling down, seeing if there's anything. Oh,
Yeah, I'm showing one of them.
that's the only one that I see. Yeah.
Yeah, but the inside pictures are really, really. I mean, the ceiling has lattice work. For crying out loud. You know, like that's.
And they got
just...
the 2 deer over the something like. Does Conan Exiles really have this much stuff? I mean, I guess
it's got. If you get the DLCs, especially, it has a ton of stuff.
Ton.
Like a ton of stuff.
Good lord.
Yeah.
But we wanted to showcase that because, I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. What else did we have?
I think that's about it, really.
I think maybe that was it. Yeah, I don't know, like, Dark Agartha challenge modes have been pretty fun. I really like, actually, the one that's, today's was, you get random enemies, but they get an extra modifier. I think it is. Yeah.
Do they ever have a day where the challenge is, like, easier?
Yes. There's some challenges that are for sure easier than others. Like,
I don't mean, like, easier than others. I mean, like, less. Like, sort of like, oh, if you do it today, it's going to be easier than every other day. Or it's going to be, like,
oh, you mean a challenge that's
Agartha.
not harder?
Yes.
No, there's no challenge that's not harder, but there definitely are challenges that are far simpler to do. Like, there's a challenge that's like -4 minutes. Just buy the 5-minute extender.
And then it's not even really a challenge at that point.
You buy the 5-minute extender and you still have an extra minute over normal with the challenge mode active. Like, I would say that one's one of the easier ones. There's also one that's like docks you lives, which again, you can buy the thing for 2 lives, I think it is, or an extra life. Yeah, I think so. Like, docks you. I want to say there's one that docks you like 3 lives or something. So you end up with like 1 life, but you can buy the extra life, and now you have 2. Right? But I feel like the time one is still like probably the easiest. There's the one with the Hey Wolfsuma. Can't watch the stream due to
Buffering a lot from the weather. That happens. Yeah, that sucks. It happens.
Thanks for coming by, though.
Understand, though.
There's one challenge that's like meteors happen, and you get really small damage ticks like throughout the whole thing. It's 90% of the time it's very inconsequential. Every once in a while, if you have a lot of AoEs going on and then a meteor happens at the same time, it gets a little tense. But
okay.
Most of the time, it kind of doesn't matter. There's a pretty funny one that does incremental damage to you, like little bits of damage to you, but you also can't sprint.
So you said that there's a couple where you can basically take what the challenge is and kind of nullify it by buying something. Today's challenge it says is chaotic energies, but it says specifically that mushroom coated hagstone cannot be used. So why don't the other ones have like the we're gonna dock you lives, but you just can't buy more, like.
Well, in this case,
that's the challenge.
It's because the challenge is that you don't know the enemy you're facing. Right?
You cut out there a little bit. What was that?
I was saying the challenge is that you don't know the enemy you're facing, because normally it's the same for everybody. You can just be like, hey guys,
yeah.
What was the bosses today? What were the modifiers? Instead of having to buy the hagstone yourself.
The challenge is challenging for you personally, right?
Right. So the challenge is rolled random for you personally. So I think the reasoning behind blocking off the hagstone is that, like, a lot of people don't buy the hagstone. They don't need to because they just ask someone else that already ran it. Right. So like they want to like prevent you from getting prior information as much as possible.
I gotcha.
Because I think without it, just one additional effect per boss is like whatever. It's not that big a deal. I mean, okay.
One additional effect. I guess it depends what that effect could be.
It depends. Okay, here's the funny part. In the higher tiers, I feel like sometimes it doesn't matter at all. I've had bosses that had so many effects they actually didn't cast one the entire fight I was fighting them.
They just didn't get around to it.
Because they can only cast so much stuff. And especially because, depending on the platform modifier, there's certain casts that aren't allowed inside of certain modifiers. Like, if you get the mushroom, the fungus one, where you get like a gold ring that you have to stay inside because outside of it's toxic. When that particular thing happens, the enemies cannot cast Forked Pitch inside of it. Okay. It's unfair. It's way too unfair.
It's way too,
yeah. So they've specifically blocked it, right? So if you're in like super high tiers and you have like 6 modifiers or 7 modifiers on a boss and one of them's Forked Pitch, but you constantly get the fungus ring, like outside of the fungus ring he can cast it, but he's also got all these other things he can do, right? I literally have fought multiple times with that particular challenge mode bosses where they just straight up didn't cast something on their list. They never got a chance to. So it depends what modifier. Because there are ones that you get like, disease. Like withering disease. There's like 2 different diseases. Cursed, wounding is a new one, and now all of a sudden you move 2 feet and you have like 4 dots on you that are all hurting you, and you're like, what the hell just happened? You know what I mean? So that's a lot different than like say 1 or 2 bad effects. One or 2 damage over time effects on you is a lot different than like 4 of them showing up at once.
than all of them showing up at the same time.
So I mean, it depends what effect gets added for sure. But I haven't come across one yet that I couldn't beat. I've definitely had some that were challenging. I've had some where I died for sure. Just like bad combinations, but I haven't not been able to pass one. But
I mean that's good. That either means that that they already weeded them out, or
testers have died for your convenience.
Yes, I would say either that's they've already been weeded out. They've already been figured out which ones are really bad. Or
I believe there's some more balance coming. Actually, there's still a couple of things that can happen together that probably shouldn't.
Okay.
And we've discussed it at length on the test servers, and I think there's probably a couple more tweaks coming to like not allow certain really bad combinations. For an example, one that's gotten a lot of talk is Memory of Flame. Is the flame circles that just float randomly around the platform.
Okay, all right. Yeah, they're annoying.
If the boss has gravity well, he'll just suck you into the middle of the platform and stun you. And so if you get
and then
gravity,
one of those balls will come across.
If you get gravity well and Memory of Flames, there is a random chance that like that flame will wander through the center right when he does gravity well, and you will insta die. Like even if you pop like a gadget with a cleanse to immediate, because also by the way, when the well pulls you to the middle, it snares you, like it does a stun. But you can cleanse it. So let's say you pop like the drone that ticks cleansing on you. So as soon as you're pulled in, you're immediately cleansed. It doesn't matter. It still pulled you into the center. And so if a flame passes the center at the same time, you just die. And because the flames are random, you can't choose where to place them, right? Like no amount of you positioning yourself changes where the center of the platform is or where the flame is going to be. So that's definitely one that still happens that I believe is not going to anymore. Also, I believe Gravity Well has the most exclusions of any modifier.
Because it sounds like it's the most...
It's the most obnoxious. Like, it doesn't actually, really normally, it pulls you to the middle and stuns and snares you. Which by itself doesn't sound like it's that big of a deal. But the problem is, combined with nearly anything, it's horrible.
Right, it just wrecks you.
And the problem with it is there's no counter to it. Like, no matter what, you're getting pulled into it. Right? Like, that's the problem. So it has the longest list of things it's not allowed to interact with, because they do that. Mechanics do have lists of other mechanics they're not allowed to happen with. That is a
so
thing.
then I feel like even from the start that they kind of had a nice list going.
Oh yeah,
which hopefully
start,
made the challenges maybe a little easier to figure
out. And then in Test Live, even like in the early days of like before Dark Agartha ever came out, when we were testing it, we come across something and be like, what the hell is this? Why did I just die out of nowhere for no reason? Personally, I'm still voting that Pained Howl needs to not happen on tight quarters. The Pained Howl AoE is the size. The tight quarters is the platform you sometimes can get as the first platform, and it's the smallest platform possible. Right? The modifier is that the platform is just really tiny.
It's just a tiny platform.
You have nowhere to go, right? Like a forked pitch on that platform takes up like 90% of the platform, right? Like you don't have a lot of room to maneuver around stuff. The Pained Howl AoE circle is larger than the platform. It's larger than the platform, but it can happen on that platform.
So if it happens, it's like, nope.
Well, so there is a trick. There's a trick. You have to be fighting the boss at the edge of the platform, so at the center of the circle. If the center of the circle starts from the edge of the platform, you end up with a space about like 2 feet towards the front of the platform you can stand in. That's how large that circle is.
I'll say then you can still maybe get out of its radius.
You can, yeah. But it's still, I'm like not even joking. It's still like this small wedge on the opposite side that doesn't get hit by it. And so I still maintain those two don't belong together. It's like, while technically it's possible to use some positioning to try and get around it, it's so ridiculous. It just doesn't make sense to me.
You're like, why? Why even do that? No, it makes sense. It makes total sense.
So I mean, that's my pet peeve. I mean, I think Novella might be leaving it in because, you know, he likes to mess with me.
Jimmy hates it. Therefore, I love it.
But he does seem to like seeing us die. Zen, yeah, I believe Pained Howl is a silencing AoE. That thing is huge. The AoE is so large. It's usually the size of the large platforms. Like, that's what I mean. Like, in order for it to like get out of it on tight quarters, that guy has to be at the edge. The center of the circle has to be at the edge, and even then, it still covers like 90+% of the platform. So it's not that it's not get aroundable at all. It just feels ridiculous.
What is the secret to Air Cyclone? Sometimes it feels like it's chasing you.
Yeah, so Air Cyclones is kind of like the Memory of Flame in the sense that I think it's not actually chasing you, it's random, and random can be really effing annoying.
Sorry, random can feel like it's against you.
Yeah, those Memory of Flames, I've had one feel like it was chasing me for like 2 laps around the thing. I was like, would you go away already? I am done with you. Also, the Air Cyclone, I feel like sometimes, I don't know if it's got a desync or what, but I definitely have had times where I would have sworn I walked right through it and nothing happened. And other times where I'm like, I was like 5 feet from that and it still knocked me around. So I think sometimes the visual doesn't always match up with exactly where it is. And so all I can say as far as it sounds like, yeah, it's not just me. All I can say as far as that goes is, for the most part, if you're dealing with the air cyclone, try and stay to the middle of the platform, because then if it does knock you, it's not knocking you off the platform. I was actually on an ult today and died because the cyclone hit me and knocked me right off the platform. I lost a life falling off. So just for safety's sake, fight them, try and fight the enemy in the middle of the platform so that the cyclone isn't able, if it does hit you, to knock you clean off the platform. Unless you buy gravity spores ahead of time, then falls don't count as deaths. Still resets the boss health a little bit, but it won't count as a death.
Good.
Zen treats him like a Gaki.
You always watch it, yeah. Be like, where is it? Where's that thing?
You're still bad at dealing with Echoing Whale? I mean, Echoing Whale takes practice. It really does. But the safest thing to do is use the purification drone, because it generally will tick for about as long as Echoing Whale does go off. So like if you get hit by it and stunned, the auto cleanse will like instantly unstun you so you can move around and get out of the way of other things. Or it again. The problem with Echoing Whale, especially if you get stunned when it's going out, is then it comes back in. So you can get like stunned, and then if you're not cleansed, then it retracts back and like smacks you another time. And that can be deadly. So it's important to be able to move, get that cleanse in. I see you're doing a spiffy dance over there.
Of course, always.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I think my favorite is when the turrets happen. They're the same turrets from like Hell Fallen, I think boss 1. Those because like as the fight goes longer and longer, you get more and more turrets, especially on like a big open circle platform. And then they'll do focus fire if they have that modifier, and then you get like this pinwheel
like
of death.
Barrage. Yeah.
And it's like all like if you're in the center and all of them come at you, it's like this crazy star pattern or something, on top of whatever else is going on.
Right. So on top of it has the forked path, or the forked.
Yeah, you got forked pitch. You got memory of flames flying around. Then you got like this giant star laser death grid that forms as it focus fires on you. And honestly, if you ever watch me stream, when those happen, I usually start to like kind of cackle. Like I just start laughing.
I give up.
No, that's when I start, like, you see the most enjoyment on my face as I just start laughing at how ridiculous it is and jumping around, like.
Well, I mean, part of the, and I'm gonna bring back something from TSW, so don't mind me here, but part of TSW, and this game as part of its predecessor, is that something hitting you is bad. Like if you stand in an AoE, you're gonna get damage from it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and then that was kind of the philosophy was that, you know, taking normal hits. Okay, those are normal hits, but purposefully standing in an AoE is going to hurt you, and it's going to hurt you bad. And so Secret World Legends TSW kind of trained and put that in me, because I played it so much, to like whenever you see an AoE, like get out of its way. Like don't stand anywhere near it. And that followed into other games, but other games don't necessarily follow that. Other games have, like, you know, they'll have the things on the ground that say like something bad will happen here, but what it doesn't actually hurt you that much. Like it's like, okay, yeah, that was bad, but whatever, I survived through it. Where Secret World kind of taught you that no, if you stand in that, like it might as well just one shot you.
Yeah, you know what? It reminds me of something funny. What is it? It's Hellraised Boss 3, the one with the fire on multiple platforms, and like different ones get set on fire at different times, and then the ground is like on fire. The ground is like lava rock or something, right? So the funny part about that is, if everything's on fire around you, you take less damage running on the lava rocks than running on the metal platforms that are on fire.
Okay.
So the floor that's lava hurts you less than the metal that gets the fire turned on. So you don't want to be on a, you don't want to be on an active AoE. It does more damage to you than the passive AoE on the ground.
Lava's not that bad.
Yeah, lava rocks, whatever. But when someone turns on the gas on that burner over there, you're gonna get screwed.
that's significantly worse. That's funny.
So I mean, legitimately, you can survive running around on the rock to find a safe platform. But if you choose to run across the metal platform that's on fire, you'll probably die before you get to the other side. Interesting.
And it seems like it really shouldn't necessarily be that way, but yeah.
It feels a little odd that somehow the floor that you're because generally you avoid the floor all the time and stand on the metal platforms, right? Like that's why you have the metal platforms.
Right. Yeah. The thought process is like, no, I should stand on the platform, and because there is solid death. It's
right,
but it's not.
Yeah, it's a little reversed.
It's reversed. It's like, oh no, if you need to get off, just feel free.
I'm actually not sure. I would have to test. I'm not sure if the same thing applies to Polaris 3 or not. Because Polaris 3, I mean, most people don't see the mechanics of Polaris 3.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever really seen.
But it's the electrocuted water. Seconds. Electrocuted water, and then the containers get electrocuted like one at a time.
Right.
And it's basically the electric water version of the fire boss.
But I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe that hurt you significantly.
Which one? The water or the containers?
The water. You jump in the water when it's electrified.
Like the water hurts you when it's electrified, but I'm not positive if it hurts you more than the containers when they're electrified. That's what I was getting at. The containers when they're electrified really hurt. So I'm not sure if it has the same principle as the.
I mean, actually, I guess it could. One. I mean, it could just be like, electrified water. Be like, we're trying to give you a little bit of survival here. Like, if you miss a jump or something.
But if you stand on the metal container that's being electrocuted, like.
Right. Like, yeah, it's like you're really not supposed to do that. That's the mechanic. But if you just happen to like miss a jump, we're not going to completely fry you. So maybe that's the point. Is it's like if we want you to stay on them. But if you don't necessarily, if you miss it a little bit, we're not going to horrifically punish you.
Jakesu says the water hits for 30 to 35% of your health. But what does the container hit for? I know the container hurts, or at least if you stand on it for any amount of time, it hurts really bad. 45-ish, maybe more.
So that's similar.
I was right though. Technically, the container does more. That makes sense. You would rather take one hop in the water and hop to the next container than run on the container to the next one.
And actually, you can see where that's actually on purpose now, because they're basically saying, okay, well, you're jumping off the container. That's what you're supposed to do. That's that's the proper protocol of the fight. That's a proper dance move. Right. But they're not going to. They're not going to instant kill you for doing what you're supposed to do and then just inadvertently not fully making the jump or not fully making the whatever.
Oh wait, I got a mission complete from the duo.
Oh.
OMG. It's fine. It's okay. I can fix it. That sounds like Andy.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's okay. I can fix it. That sounds like an Andy on stream. Like, I've just deleted things I shouldn't have. I can fix this. I know. I'll put some balloons here.
I'll just put some balloons where this jump pad is supposed to be.
Yeah, totally fine. Totally fine.
But like, I think the jump pad actually still worked. I think that was the case. The jump pad
right.
Still
He
worked.
just put the marker there because the visual item wasn't there.
The visual item was deleted, yes, but the jump pad actually still technically worked. So he was like, "Let me just put something here, just balloons."
I need to level Walter Malone. Walter Malone.
That was after one of our Beyond the Veil events. No, but I had to poke Spinosaur recently because we took this is completely off the beaten path here, but we took Baby Ocho to we had a event near us that was a like life-size animatronic dinosaurs in a convention center near us, and it was like, you know, they had like a full-size T-Rex with the whole like super freaking cool. From all, like, you know, from what they know of the size of dinosaurs and what they actually were, they had like the full size of them. And so they had, as part of their big things, was they actually had a Spinosaur.
Oh, nice.
Which a Spinosaur is the largest carnivorous dinosaur ever discovered.
Interesting.
So you think it's like, oh no, it's a T-Rex or it's this. No, Spinosaur is actually the largest carnivorous, and you have to specify carnivorous because the Argentinosaurus is actually like 3 times as big. But but the Spinosaur that they had was supposed to be full size, and we were in a convention center in outside of Philadelphia. It was the Philadelphia Convention Center at Oaks, and the Spinosaur was basically like hitting the top end of the ceiling. And it was like, okay, no, that thing is massive. I just find that funny. It's like, oh, but I know Spinosaur. I'm gonna have to tag her in this. Right?
I feel like we should run something.
We can. It's actually getting a little late for me.
It's getting late. I feel like we should sign off with something.
With something.
Unfortunately, my Dark Agartha is done, and I can't probably stay alive for another 2 hours until the reset. Plus, it's not group content. Let's see. What can we do?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Have you done your New York raid this week?
You asked that thinking that I actually had. That's
well, I mean, the story mode. Story mode.
Even still, thank you for thinking that. No, I have not.
All right. We'll go do story mode New York raid before we call it.
Should we try to find someone else, other people, just for fun?
Zen, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I was wondering what that sound was. Apparently, it's follow. I need to get the.
That is something that I don't think Ember has set up on our.
Well, it shows up on the stream, but I mean, like, he has Streamlabs, I think. Like,
right.
I don't have the Streamlabs login.
Yeah, he uses Streamlabs OBS, not just.
The sound is triggering to you.
Okay, so people are being asked to evacuate Midtown and to take cover. Get as far north.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Ich wusste es. Ich hätte auf meine Mutter hören sollen.
Was willst du damit sagen?
Sie hat gesagt, dass ein Besuch in New York gefährlich ist und dass wir lieber nach Rom fahren sollten.
New York ist nicht.
It's crazy out there. It's a freaking war zone. Some kind of attack. I don't know.
Wirklich?
Normalerweise ist New York nicht gefährlich.
Also nur, wenn's gerade die Luft.
I don't know what language this is. Is it German?
Ach wirklich? Für mich sieht es nämlich ganz nach dem Ende der Welt aus.
Something?
Oh, I can't hear him. I got my sound down too loud. But they're
Ich will nicht nach Soho. Ich will den Times Square sehen.
So it's Times Square.
The what you call.
Genau wie Düsseldorf.
So this is Dusseldorf all over again. You take me to the worst places. There's always an unutterable lurker wherever we go on vacation.
Always. feel like I should put on maybe some survivability.
If anything, for the actual fight itself, you probably just need some self-heals.
Yeah, let me drop that and put that on now. There we go.
Yeah. Well, I can solo story mode Mercury. I'm just taking my heal along to get him his completion.
And if you're ever in Elder Scrolls Online, I can solo most of the group dungeons for that. But
speaking of mechanics, I don't know
this
how
game's
he
a little more
makes
hard tricky
pod.
for me to do that.
You don't know how he makes pod? The pods
Well,
are
you see,
like tendrils.
You see,
when a baby lurker and when a mama lurker and a daddy lurker get together, they make pods.
They make a pod. Also, I want to say one of your suggestions once was never do double tap to dodge.
Yes.
And I've taken that into every other game that I play.
Uh-huh.
And it is good advice in every single other game.
Well, yeah.
It's not only good advice here, it's also good advice for all of them too.
Yeah, I would think so. Like, because you're just the chances of you triggering it by accident are just far too great.
Well, that and just dodging itself is just so much more elegant.
When you actually choose to do it?
Yes. Instead of doing this like little like stutter step first, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Who are these guys? Who are you?
Yeah, so pods...
what happened to the signal? Are we still broadcasting?
They're like the tendril things. You'll see them actually right here. See, those are actually the pods. The ends of those. They're just going underground and coming up and grabbing you. It's not past your bedtime? Shushums, Kalani. Shushums.
I will say that the first time I ever came in here, it blew my mind. Not just because it's like, oh, it's cool, it's you know, it's New York, it's Times Square, but of how many times I've been to New York and how many times, like, I used to live outside of New York. Like, I used to be able to, like, to see the skyline of New York from where I used to live. And so we used to go into New York all the time.
This is a pod, so you can see in the middle of it what is spiking you up the middle of your torso when you're in one. It's probably why it hurts. Can you see the one over our head, Mikey?
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, I imagine when you're in that, I imagine that's trying to poke through you.
That's not just a tongue. Yes, that's
Also,
it seems like it's a hard spike.
A lot of people play this zoomed out, and I mean, I totally get why. But if you play this like more zoomed in, like you can see the fist like coming down better, and you can see that like his attack, like it's like his eyes shoot out beams.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that part's pretty cool.
That's why
I'll play zoomed in more. Yeah, it looks really neat. Yeah, there's the beams. Eye beam of death. Shadow, Mikey, Shadow.
I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot what I was supposed to do during this.
Shadow, you're supposed to go run and hide.
Oh, well, I seem to have done okay. Oh, poor New Yorkers. That's terrible.
Oop, I got stuck for a second on a rock. That was almost bad.
I would have had to solo the rest of it. I don't know, what
Hey.
E level do you have to be in order to solo this? Do you
I
think?
soloed it with no gear and level 1 weapon.
Right. So it's like, what E level do you think you have to be?
I mean,
necessarily?
granted, it was super difficult and took a long time. I don't know, maybe like E4 or something.
So I even might be able to if I had the right build.
Yeah, if you're sustain tanking it, like, should be fine. Last birdie should come down over here. Did you try hiding behind the lamppost?
It did not. I was hiding behind the previous lamppost and it worked. Hiding behind that one did not work. Sadly.
Here, come up here.
He was meditating.
Yeah.
I love seeing that. Here comes the pod. Okay, so the pod is this thing over here coming towards us.
It's coming right for you. No, it's not.
Got him. Look at little chicken legs.
He skipped a leg day.
Yay, we did it.
Jam. And then the main characters, who are kind of main characters, but not really main characters.
I'd say there's a pretty good chance.
If anyone asks, leaky gas pipes.
You've got to be kidding.
When have you ever known me to make a joke? Look, I don't make policy, but the way I see it, news of this gets out and it's all over. No more secret handshakes.
Is that all you care about? Plausible denial?
Well, it doesn't need to be all that plausible. As long as people are given an excuse to ignore this, that's what they want. It's what we want. I've no doubt it's in the dragon's interest too.
The dragon wants answers.
No, you don't. You want to consolidate power like everyone else. You just use bigger words. Our backyard, our rules. No one is to talk about this.
I always think like it's kind of weird that you don't see these NPCs
bloody convenient.
Like anywhere?
Like anywhere else, right?
There's no power.
Like they're like, oh, we created all these
control without mass hysteria.
Power is an idea.
High military boots, filthy tan.
Ever confronted
All right.
abstract idea?
Yeah, not bad, not bad, not bad.
What, you mean like credit cards?
Where does a thing like that even come from?
Now that's a silly question.
As
well.
And you wonder why they didn't, but then you see like we were doing the mission before with Che, and Che is voiced by Armin Shimerman,
right?
Played Quark in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And it's like, when you have those voice actors, like when you have those voice actors,
damn it, I keep missing the jump. Oh, you know what I could do? Hold on.
Like, you know, you might want to go with your original thoughts. You might want to be able to be like, hey, we have this opportunity. Why don't we use these guys?
All right, I'm gonna rock it. Rocket Man. Here, can you see me up here?
Yes.
All right.
Oh no.
Ta-da!
See if I
This
can
is
catch.
the New York skyline.
Oh no, that's right. You get stuck up there.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, it looks cool.
They didn't go too far out from Times Square.
I can actually get out there with a Krampus rocket in the right place, because I can come down outside of a wall. You know?
Okay.
I mean, not from here, but like you know how when you run out of the subway, you can see like a tank rolling by.
Yes.
With army guys. So in that area, if I like rocket up, I can come out. I can land on the other side. And I can like stand in front of the tank, which just rolls right through you.
Hey, we have a real question though. It's Just Labs says.
Hey, Labs.
Do you have any suggestions, tips, maybe a guide for returning player from TSW days looking to get into tanking in SWL?
There is tanking guides on the forums. I also can give you. I think wasn't I talking with you on Discord the other day? I want to say that was you.
I would say, but we're saying how kind of like defensive glyphs are kind of a like, don't worry about those.
Yeah.
Like even a tank's gonna need crit and
crit power.
Crit and crit power, basically.
Alright, I should be coming down now, I think.
So that even tanking is more about your build than it necessarily is how you entirely slot your gear. But would tanks need different? Are you coming down?
I landed behind you.
I was gonna try. I'm trying to see when I can see you. I couldn't.
Yeah, you don't actually land that far from where you were. But Labs, I can show you what a tanking build looks like. Yeah, you can't see my bar though. Hold on. Let me just turn off the overlay for a second. There we go. So you can see ground pound. So you can pick up lots of ads at the same time. And the bottom line of any weapon skill tree is usually towards its focus, right? If you have a healing weapon, the heal abilities tend to be at the bottom line. If you're tanking, the tanking ones tend to be
the bottom line, because that's the group line.
The bottom line is like your roll. And sometimes certain ones apply that are in like the middle line, which is like kind of the specialty line. Some of those will apply to your roll as well. But like the
top line is pretty much like solo line.
Top is DPS, bottom is roll.
Yes.
And then middle is like flex.
In between, yeah.
So anyways, the pulverize is your ground pound is your basic. That's your doesn't take energy, and it requires your hammer. It generates rage, and it generates a large amount of hate. As a tank, you want to generate hate, right? So things attack you. And then you have pain suppression. This is one of your main cooldowns. Pain suppression is pretty amazing. It allows you to stay alive, along with its passive. Thick skin is the other hammer cooldown. And then your main consumer, your main attack, is going to be pulverize. And pulverize, especially with its passive percussive maintenance, says whenever you refresh the duration of the maximum health on pulverize, you also heal yourself for 6% of your maximum health. And then the normal pulverize says when you're enraged, your maximum health goes up by 30%. So it's another thing that helps you keep alive. PJ, if you can't post the link, you can send it to me, like on Twitch, and I can post it.
Yeah, we're not exactly sure.
Yeah. And then your offhand should be...
Sometimes it won't.
Your offhand should be chaos, and you run two things. Generally, you run immutable. Yes, yours got asterisked out, Chicken Stew. You could just send that to me, and I can post it. I was wondering what that asterisk was.
All right, I just thought he just cursed. My first thought was, okay, the curse is only 3 letters, so it can't be that bad.
Send the link to me. Just whisper it to me, and I'll post it there. Like whisper it on Twitch, PJ or Chicken Soup. So immutable keeps you from dying for the next 5 seconds. You generate more hate, and you cannot be defeated by normal means. And when the effect expires, you heal for 40% of your maximum health. So not only is it an I don't die for 5 seconds button, but at the end of it, it also heals you for a huge chunk. And then Twist Fate increases your protection by like a ginormous amount for 7 seconds. And if you run the passive, you get a barrier reflecting 50% incoming damage, and when it reflects. It expires when it reflects. So it expires when it reflects 55% of your maximum health. Generally speaking, you run the passives for most. Everything that's not a basic has a correlating passive. So the only thing I think you don't run the passive for is immutable, because as a tank, like you don't need to be generating paradoxes with chaos offhand, so it saves you a passive slot. But you run the passive for pain suppression, you run the passive for thick skin, you run the passive for pulverize, you run the passive for twist fate, and then the other passive you run is unbridled wrath is what I run. It just means your pulverize has a higher maximum health bonus is the main reason to do it. But you could also choose to run Forged in Fire, I think, as well. That's a good, like, when you drop below 50, you start to heal yourself for 5% of your max health every second for 5 seconds. It's a pretty decent one. You said it on Discord too. Oh, I see it. I see it. There you go. So yeah, I mean, so tanking is basically a rotation of your cooldowns. You generally engage with Immutable, and you just start smashing away with Pulverize. It's your main consumer. And when you're out of energy, you're hit using your basic. And then when Immutable expires, or like right before it expires, you want to hit Thick Skin. And when Thick Skin goes away, you hit Pain Suppression. In between your cooldowns, you're hitting with your main attack, which is Pulverize. And if you're out of energy, you're hitting with your basic, which is Ground Pound. You also will use Ground Pound just like if there's a bunch of enemies, you just run in and hit Ground Pound because it's an AoE. So you'll hit like up to 6 things in range to pull them to you. And so a lot of times you can get away with 3 cooldowns, but it's nice to have Twist Fate as a 4th to like help overlap. Especially because it is possible to still take damage through, I think, Pain Suppression. So like sometimes you'll go Immutable, Thick Skin, Pain Suppression, and then you'll be like, I'm getting really low. I'll pop Twist Fate on top of that. And then you just cycle between those 4. Certain fights you want to just go down to 3. The one you drop is always Twist Fate. You might drop Twist Fate if you need a pull. Evulsion from Chaos is a pull. You can yank something to you. And then for gadgets, you generally either want a pull, which would be Electrogravitic Attractor is a pull to pull a target to you, or you want something like your Agitator. The Agitator taunts the target, forcing them to attack you for 3 seconds. That's a very tank gadget, right? You're making them come attack you. Beyond that, it's really more. It's mostly about just learning the fights, like learning where to position yourself, where to position the thing you're fighting. But as far as the staying alive part as a tank, with that build, with those actives and passives, it's pretty straightforward. It works really well. I've done ridiculous things with that setup. In fact, the other night, I'm
actually just I'm more focused, Kylani. I'm going around the New York. I'm going through this zone trying to see if there's anything I haven't seen before.
There's something behind the lurker that always pisses me off. I can't see because his dead body's in the way. But I've seen it like once or twice. There's like a poster.
I like that the musical
there.
is Sam Krieg, the resident horror musical. I like that.
There's a morning
All the
light
newspapers
poster.
are Japanese though.
There's a morning light poster behind the lurker on the tower there. Like a giant morning light poster. Can you see it? And the bingo one?
If only the spell wasn't on me. Oh yeah, I kind of see it.
Oh, you still have the buff?
Yeah, it's not going away.
That's funny. That's a glitch. Do you know that can happen? Like if we didn't kill him, that's happened in raids before. Then the raid wipes, and then someone steals aggro from the tank right away because they still have the buff when they go into phase 1.
Right.
Because that's like a 300% damage increase or something.
It is something ridiculous. It's not letting me go. He's like, this guy needs more help than anyone else.
What I was saying is, I was running dungeons the other night. It was an E9 dungeon, right? Ankh. The last boss, right? You're fighting Milo's hat at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone died before the run-up. Except me. I was a tank. So all the DPS died, but all that was left was Klein at the top, right? So I ran up top, and I soloed Klein and the 2 things. Like, I pulled them down just hitting them with my hammer. I sustained tank the whole fight. Like, it took a stupid long time.
You're like, alright, I guess I'll do this.
And he gets stacked the longer it goes. He had some crazy, ridiculous number of stacks. They just kept climbing the whole time. But I managed to kill him. That's how, like, kind of ridiculous sustained tanking can be. Like, you can stay alive a long time. Oh yeah, so to answer JD's question about plans for new content, they're still putting out new stuff. As far as a new story chapter, we haven't heard anything, but honestly, we're not going to. That's just not how they roll.
We're not going to until, like, like the week before they do.
Yeah, I mean, and then we're not joking. It literally is about like a 5-day notice before content drops.
Yeah.
If you get that, I don't think we got it for the winter event, right? Like, I don't think we got any prior notice. It just showed up and we're like, ooh, stuff.
We're like, yeah, stuff. Well, that's because in TSW they had that big what was it, the path? No, the what was it called? It was the like the I forget. They came out with basically this was gonna have the roadmap. That's what
the roadmap.
That's what
Yeah.
And that bit them
very
very hard.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, it bites most companies that try to do that pretty
true,
dang hard.
True. Roadmaps, like public roadmaps, honestly, I 100% agree, are a horrible idea.
They're not good. And because if something happens and they're like, oh, some management switched hands or something came up and then we decided to do this instead, or
something just took longer than you thought it was going to.
Right, it just takes a little longer, that everyone points back and they go, well, what about this on the roadmap? You said this was going to be first. And that always happens with roadmaps. So that's why you don't normally see roadmaps that much anymore, and they will not do a roadmap anymore. They won't do a roadmap anymore, and they barely let anyone know.
Not only do they not do a roadmap, they're so gun shy, they basically don't say anything until it's literally about to go live. And even then, it almost feels like begrudgingly. Like, no, we wanted to go live first. We want to make sure it works.
Right.
We want to make sure it works.
Right, like they'd rather put it in the game first and just have people be like, wait a minute, what is this? And then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we put something out.
When you weren't looking,
we gave you new content.
So, if you're in the beginning of Tokyo is fairly dense, like content-wise. You've got a lot of content in there. There is a zone after that.
There's Tokyo and then South Africa, right?
Right. So.
But Tokyo has a lot of really good
dense
content in it. Yeah.
But then you also have other stuff.
Tokyo.
Like you have things like the faction missions that don't unlock until certain elite levels, right? And those are still, I would call them like sort of story, at least story adjacent. Like they're faction stories, right?
Right. They're supposed to be more like the war between the factions.
And then
related.
What is the? Isn't there another mission on the Paragon Activities board? There's a couple. There's the motorcycle mission, right? On the Paragon Activities board. In Kingsmith, where you go for Moose and you get the motorcycle.
Right.
And then there's the mission in London. Like in the catacombs?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I know.
Yeah, I'll go look.
I know. I remember that mission. I just don't know what it's called.
All roads lead to Rome.
Okay. Yes. But there's a couple more. Those are just basically a handful of missions. Those aren't zones. Those aren't.
No, it's not a zone. But I'm saying I guess what I'm getting at is even if you finish like the story, there's more mission other than just dungeons, right? Which honestly, you need to do all the story mode dungeons because those are actually story. Like, I think a lot of games the dungeons are just like you run in and shoot things. And in Secret World, the whole reason there's a story mode is the dungeons have cinematics. The dungeons have lore. Like, they have legends. The dungeons have a story. I guess you can't see it once you've done them. Damn it. I guess all roads lead to Rome isn't repeatable. Dagnabbit. PJ, you did the bike quest a few days ago?
Well, congrats on your new motorcycle then.
2 years later. Holy crap, dude. That's some epic procrastination right there.
It's like my level.
That is some epic procrastination.
There are a couple on the list that I still have not done.
You tuned into the stream, like, what the hell?
Actually, no, I've not done all roads lead to Rome on this character.
I believe it. That one, I feel like that one's fairly easy to miss.
It's an investigation, though. That's why.
It's an investigation mission. It's on the Paragon board. You have to like go pay attention to it.
There's a lot of investigation missions I haven't done in Secret World Legends because I did them in Secret World, and I was like, okay, I remember doing them, but part of doing those missions was kind of like the satisfaction of being able to figure it out the first time.
Yeah.
Second or third time through, you're like, okay.
Well, see,
you just look up a guide and just do it.
part of my new thing on my alts for farming Dark Agartha is there's 2 investigation missions that I rerun on like 4 characters every day.
Yeah.
Because they're just easily farmable and they give a decent amount of XP.
Because a hard part of the investigation missions is figuring out where to go. Once you already know where to go, they become trivial.
Yeah.
But they still count as main missions. So.
Yeah, and I think do you remember like TSW had like a pretty harsh penalty for the repeats? Like TSW like gave you a ton of XP when you first did them. Like investigation missions were a way to power level your character in TSW. If you just like beeline the investigations, because the first time you did them, they gave you a ton of XP. Because
they were trying to be commensurate to the actual work that you would put in if you didn't just use a guide.
Yeah, but the repeats were like just slashed to the bone. Like the repeating them gave you next to nothing in TSW. In Legends, I think they kind of balanced it a little bit differently. Like the amount it gives you isn't as crazy large on the first one, but it's also not as much less on repeats. Like
maybe because they figured that repeating an investigation mission is kind of like there are a lot of missions that don't take you a whole bunch of time. So maybe they didn't, they're like, oh, if you want to repeat these, go ahead. We're not going to really punish you.
I think honestly the tube, especially like the free to play model, like they just don't want to punish investigation people. They're like, you know what? Because honestly, it's not as big of a draw.
It isn't, but at the same time, it is.
Like it's a draw, but it's not a large like.
Right. Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like the number of people, like it just doesn't suck in the number of people that say a dungeon does. Even I think.
Right. Once I did a couple of investigation missions in this game, I was hooked. I was like, I'm done. This is amazing. I love these. These are some of the hardest. These are some of the trickiest puzzles, and these are some of the hardest puzzles I think I've experienced in any game. Period.
Oh yeah, they're crazy.
They're absolutely nuts. And I love that they just went like just so over the top with them. They're like, okay, most people are gonna look up a guide or whatnot, but for those who don't, we're really gonna give you something to enjoy, something to really puzzle over, and something to really enjoy. But yeah, but otherwise they're just basic missions, and if you run through them, you get rewarded. Yeah, so what? That just rewards the people who are patrons who don't have the ridiculous cooldowns that free players do.
To heck with the Zork mission or Hive Zork mission. For JG's question about should people do the museum as they go, or is that a late game focus? I would say it's a bit of both. You can definitely do maybe like the green level, like initial level museum, just as you go. It should sort of come naturally.
But the other two levels.
But like blue, maybe some blues. But there's definitely, like, when you get into some certain blue and purple, like, now you're talking about, you need to have, like, 5k kills of something or 2k kills of something, and you need to have gathered, like, all these legends. So, kind of balance
and it is such an anima shard sink, too.
Yeah,
like,
that
it
too.
Is, I think lower end, I'm looking at what I still have yet to complete of mine, and I haven't gotten too far, and I have the entire first level done.
Oh, it's millions of shards, for sure.
But I think I have something like 8.4 million anima shards. And that's even an estimate, I think. Not close to an actual figure, but it's a lower end estimate of how many anima shards I would need to actually finish it up entirely.
Yeah, no, it's expensive as hell, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the green level is fairly cheap. and you can kind of do, and it does, and the green level doesn't have a lot of requirements. So there's certainly no reason to not try and do some of it along the way, but definitely the farming aspect of it is a lot easier when you're much higher level. Right? It's way easier to kill 2,000 of something when you're like 40 levels above it than when you're at level for it, right? Like that would be my point to that. There was, I do remember, don't remember who it was. Someone was like specifically farming the museum, like in the beginning. Like they weren't doing anything else. And I felt like that was.
You're doing it out of order.
It's a little bit of a bad strat because like I get it. I totally understand pushing for achievement, but by not spending the time improving your character, you're making your work like take that much longer. Right? Like, when you're way over geared, you can farm 5,000 zombies, like, no problem.
Right. They'll just come running at you and you
don't
just shoot
farm
them all
5,000 zombies when you're level 5 in Kingsmith. It's going to take a long time. So, can't be 40 levels above 40? Well, I suppose. But there's, like, level 4 things. There's level 8 things. You can be 40 levels above stuff.
I think Jimmy has proven that you can actually be 40 levels above 40. Because once you hit the top level, then it's the IP. Then it's a whole other leveling system.
Yeah. Then it's your capstones. Your capstones and your passives that aren't factored into your IP.
Right, and they are super important.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think this calculation is actually overall, because I think the first tier to get overall you need 364,000 anima shards.
Yeah. Well, that means I think that's all first tier, right?
That's all first tier, yes.
Yeah. If you're like, look, what I'm saying is, if you're in Kingsmith, you know, or like what would you get unlocked the museum by, like maybe Savage Coast? If you're in Savage Coast, you can go in there and you can like get a pedestal or two. You know what I mean? It's a long, like green pedestal in the Kingsmith room alone. Because at that point
they're just kind of
like
cool
100 shards or something. Like it's not a ton. You don't have to, but you certainly can.
It's basically one item that you buy is worth 200,000 anima shards, and then the rest is like 1,000 per green pillar, basically.
Yeah, it's not too big of a deal. Now to finish it is another story entirely.
Yeah, but then it goes up. Yeah, the first level entirely is 364. The second level entirely is 1.5 million, and then the third level entirely is over 6.5 million, which is where the almost 8.5 total anima shards comes from.
Right. But on top of that, that's just like the shard cost. You're not counting like achievement cost.
I'm not. Yeah, that is just the shard
count.
cost. Yeah.
Items. You need items for the purple ones. You know what I mean? You need your tank commander blade. You need a depleted energy cell.
Mm-hmm. Which they threw those in.
You need the solar shard that costs actual third age fragments. Right? The solar shard's like 300 third age fragments.
Mm-hmm.
Which you only get from caches. Oh, you need items that only drop during events. The golem.
Right, the mischievous tufts, the horn of Niflheim.
Like, all the golems, like the whole golem wing, like most of those golem shards don't only drop in the actual event.
Only during the anniversary event, right?
Yeah, I mean some of them drop outside of it. Like there's some golems around that do randomly drop them, but for the most part, a lot of them are tied. Like you're only getting them during the event. Oh, Jack, right? You need Jack's head from Halloween. Yeah, there's so much more to it than just the shard cost, I guess is what I'm getting at.
There is, but the shard cost is essentially a sink. Like they made it as kind of a shard sink.
But if you think 8 million shards is like the worst part of it,
it's not. Yeah. That's the easy part.
Yeah. You'll eventually get shards.
You can farm a whole bunch of anima shards, yeah.
I have 4.4 million shards right now, and I'm not trying to farm them.
No, you've actually finished your...
Yeah, I'm done with my museum. And that's what happens when you're done with your museum. They just sort of pile up. And actually, the only reason it's down is because I've been running dungeons and upgrading a lot lately. I had like 4.5. I spent like 100,000 shards on like upgrades.
But that's what they did. They used the museum as kind of the anima shard sink, and then Dark Agartha is on the other side. The Dark Agartha is the SP and AP sink. When you've kind of done using those, because it costs the SP and AP to even enter into Dark Agartha.
And that's why I don't recommend people that are really low level go too crazy in Dark Agartha.
Right.
Because realistically, I don't think 4-pipping your purple gear is necessarily that beneficial.
No. And even the shards, I think you suggested this last time, is that if you're a low level, you could still run Dark Agartha, but you're probably better off with selling the fragments that you get on the auction house.
And buying what you need.
And using that to fund your getting the gear that you need first and foremost. You're at 8,000 anima shards. No, trust me. Okay. This is part.
There.
The actual end of the game and the actual going through all the content itself, you will finish at level like 50 or something like that. Like your item power will just barely be above 100 when you finish like all the story, basically.
Yeah.
And that's
and if you're upgrading along the way,
point.
You'll be broke shard wise, like pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I've been in that situation where you're in a dungeon and you can't use a distillate because you don't have the shards.
Yep.
In fact, I would run out of inventory space, and I remember like I would put up an item on the auction house, and a friend would buy stuff to like move stuff around, like somehow get loaned money to buy like caches from the auction house to vendor the caches for shards so I could do upgrades. Like, you do this weird loop. This weird currency loop. That's the only other way to get shards, by the way. Caches and gadgets. Really.
Selling caches. Yeah, selling gadgets.
Gadgets will sell for a decent amount of shards, too. So Tokyo Farm is good for that, because you can farm the containers and get like, random gadgets and just sell them for shards. But yeah, I don't know. It's Scorched Desert. Ground the holy crap out of Scorched Desert. It's vendored so much green stuff there for shards.
Yes. Also, yeah, vendoring green stuff. You have to start striking a balance between whether actually to drop green stuff into your equipment or to sell it off, because otherwise you'll run out of shards.
Is there a list? Keep these gadgets, sell all the other ones. I don't know if there's a list per se, but like. Well,
I mean, there's some that are better than others.
But there's a bunch that you look at and just go like, I don't need that, and that's really what you should do.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to use that? No. Like, some of them are useful in specific cases later on. You know, but like if you're not tanking, you don't need an agitator gadget. You don't need an Osmium
I think
gadget
the best gadgets are the ones that actually like physically manipulate things around you, like pull an enemy towards you or push them away,
like,
or
the Mistress Bashosin is pretty much like a full-on utility gadget. Like that one is crazy good to have on you.
That's what I currently have equipped. Yeah.
The Purification Drone, any quality, because no one cares about the heal tick. It's about the cleanse, and the cleanse and the cooldown is not affected by the quality. So your green Purification Drone is doing just as much work for you as the red one. The quality level only affects the amount it heals you. And even at red, it heals you for 209. Who cares? 209 out of, like, even as a DPS, if you're maxed, you're at, like, 7,500 health. 209 is nothing.
Wait, what is it? What does the purification one do exactly? It heals you once, or cleanses you once every...
It cleanses you once every second for 6 seconds.
And okay, just on use.
So you activate it, and then it goes tick, 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 tick.
Right.
It's better than the hoop.
Okay.
The hoop.
I'll say I've got the hoop.
It's not the hoop. It has its uses. Like it does have certain spots. I feel like it was really good in the fungal floor in the tower, because it would just like auto proc. But more often than not, like the auto proc is a problem because then it can't proc again for that set amount of time.
Right.
So especially like Dark Agartha, right? The difference between a hoop and the drone in Dark Agartha is huge. You want to be able to control when you cleanse because you want to cleanse multiple things. So, like, if you have the cursed modifier in Dark Agartha and you're getting a curse stack once every 10 seconds or something, you don't want to cleanse right away. You let that stack up, and then something else casts another thing on you. Now you have 2 dots on you, or 3 dots, and then you cast the drone.
Then you
right?
cast it, then you get rid of it, yeah.
If it ticks ahead of it, if the hoop cleanses the 1, then you have nothing left to cleanse when the other dots come in that are doing more damage. So, while the hoop has its like niche places, overall the drone is just more beneficial. Just for the control. So drone is huge. Bashosian is huge. The cannon I only really use in the raid, and that's to knock the Titan back in phase 3 so he can't get, buy people time to kill him. Just knock him away.
I kind of like the VR power-up spawner you get from the
Yeah, that's neat.
It's neat.
Yeah, I don't know if it actually. I mean, I don't think it's meta to use. I also like the teleporting devices.
No,
both the backwards and forwards teleporting devices are good.
No, anything I do is not necessarily meta, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah, no, there's nothing like wrong with that. I mean, I have a lot of gadgets on me. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. I have 13 gadgets on me. And I use most of these at some point or other. I don't generally carry things I don't use.
All right, but the Bashosian is probably the most, the one that I use.
I would say Bashosian and drone like fight for like most use. In dungeons, I would probably lean more towards the drone, honestly. Or as well, in Dark Agartha for sure, 100% the drone. If you're running Dark Agartha, the drone is like on like almost all the time. The Valley. There's a DPS one. That's the Valley one.
But even still, most of these actually start coming from the containers in Tokyo. Like before you hit the containers in Tokyo, you really don't see any
Valley
gadgets.
Stimulants isn't that great. The one you want is the Valley Metabolic Accelerator. That's the one that gives you 2 energy for your primary weapon and 1 energy for your second one in your weapon. That's like a DPS like injection. Here's more energy. Shoot your main weapons more. The stimulants I don't think is that great. That just increases your movement speed. I mean, I'm sure you can use it for different things, but it's not something I would keep on me. It's something I would probably snag for a specific achievement or something I was trying to do. Whereas, like, I keep the Compact Catastrophe Shelter. It's a 5-meter blue ring that ups the protection. There's multiple there's at least one dungeon fight, maybe 2, where you use that, where it's handy to have. But yeah, I don't know. And then for me, I have the gadget you get from finishing the museum. So for DPS, for a lot of DPS, the Valley Metabolic Accelerator is like best in slot gadget as far as max DPS. But actually, for pistol, the demonic doppelganger actually does more damage. So my mini Jimmy that comes out and attacks is my DPS gadget.
I saw him run away during our fight with the lurker. He booked it and then just threw something at it.
yeah, that's what they do. They like throw like a beam attack or something. But it's cool because he's wearing your exact outfit, whatever it is, and he's smaller.
He's just tiny.
Yeah. It is funny on like different boss fights in dungeons. So when the bosses move, like your guy will try and chase them down like around corners and stuff to go attack them.
That's why I love the Revenant. That's why the Revenant is one of my favorites. So I still haven't gotten rid of the Shadowbound stuff, just because I just love the thought of the Revenant just being like, just coming out of nowhere and just being like, I'm gonna get you.
There's no Jotun on the market, but I know kind of what you're talking about. I've heard people use the Jotun for very specific scenarios, but they're like super edge case stuff. I think tanking, right? If I remember correctly, for Jotun, but it's not like normal use. Oh, I didn't respond to Chicken Stew earlier about the Scorched Desert. He was saying daily loop in Scorched Desert, sometimes twice a day. I would like to say twice a day for sure, sometimes 3 times a day Scorched Desert loop. Because it's only an 8-hour cooldown.
Only.
You can fit in 3, okay?
I mean, you might have to sleep in there somewhere. Maybe.
That's for other people. Saw the Hand of Fate take off, run up the cliffs to shoot Enema Ball, the teleporting sorcerer guy. Yeah. They'll try. I didn't know the Fate could actually succeed. I know the Demon Doppelganger will try to run up to fight the. They try and get to wherever the enemy is once they've been cast. They do their damnedest. Oh, when I was tanking Ankh the other night, like my tank, my chaos focus is a shadowbound focus, right? Because your chaos focus doesn't really matter, and I don't like to save space, so I just made the shadowbound one. I like upped it. I have a legendary 70 shadowbound chaos focus.
Of course. And like, why not?
You know, that's what I tank with. But the thing is, it like never procs, right? Because Immutable is never gonna make a Revenant come out ever. It's not how it does. Not an attack. But for tanking for Ankh 6, I use Avulsion, and I pulled Mellow to me in the start of the fight, and the Revenant showed up next to me. But the problem with that fight is like anything that procs, like unless it procs right on the edge, it can't get to him, so it just stands there, idle. So it freaked me out because in the corner of my eye I see this Revenant just sitting there next to me, and I was like, what the hell is that? And
when did that show up?
Because I wasn't moving. It was like a statue of a Revenant just next to me. It scared the shit out of me.
What is it? That's that was like the not long ago we were running see, now words are starting to lose. We were running one of the scenarios with Vommer, but Vommer was...
Oh, he's a Flappy.
the Flappy Bird, right.
The bird of the 0-point pathogen.
And so, yeah, so you kept being like, you'd run up to something and all of a sudden have this Flappy Bird like right next to you. You're like, where did that come? Oh, wait, no, that's...
That's Vommer. Yeah.
That's Vommer. Be like, no wait, that's fine, that's Bomber, it's okay. And then like 5 seconds later, you'd be like, where did this Flappy come from? No wait, still Bomber, it's okay. All right, like, but it's getting late.
Yeah, it's officially 1 a.m. So...
It's late, and I need to be in. I'm gonna be in the ocean.
You're gonna be sleeping with the fishes?
Kind of. My wife and I, we volunteer for Special Olympics. And this weekend is the Polar Bear Plunge for Special Olympics in Wildwood, New Jersey. Okay. So
you'll be sleeping with the frozen fishes.
Yeah. We just volunteer though. I only jumped in once. But tomorrow night is big.
You're not jumping in?
Not this year, no.
Oh.
I can't afford it every year. It's something like almost I think it's 120 now.
Oh wow.
Just to do it. So every year we just register people in, and it's still good times because tomorrow night is a big beef and beer fundraiser beforehand, and it's always a big weekend. It's always a big, and then the next day we have to be up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to start actually helping set everything up and get everything going. It's a fun weekend though. It's a fun weekend. So, but we're starting that tomorrow. So it's 1 a.m. now, and yes, no, I need to get going. So
yeah, no, totally.
So agents, this has been the 0 Point Report. Strain, I have was it 11 HNY? That's what we're going with this time around. You can catch us recording live. I'm not even gonna say every other Thursday. Just you can catch us recording live Thursdays when we do it. Should be every other Thursday. We're gonna try to, yeah. I like this having our videos going. I like this.
Yeah.
Now I wonder on the screen where we're gonna put
Imbuer. I kind of was thinking because the chat's above me, just put Imbuer above you, and that should like visually sync up.
I think his camera faces left.
Well, I flipped you.
Oh, okay, all right.
Like so you're already flipped. Like you're the other because you're the same as me.
Right. Yes. You're right.
So that takes a half a second. That's no big deal. But I think like I might even move the chat display up a little bit, right? And then it'll be like visually sort of symmetrical-ish.
I just like this because when I take a look at the screen of what's going on, it looks like I'm looking like right at you.
Yeah, right. Because of the way you're angled.
Yes.
I'd have
I look at my
turn
screen.
this way.
I'm right here.
Actually, you know what's crazy? That works. It's so weird because my other monitor that has the other because I have a dual streaming setup.
Right.
The other monitor is over here, so I actually look this way, even though my camera's here.
Yeah.
So we actually look at each other.
We're actually kind of looking at each other while we're doing this.
So for me to see like you on like your video in OBS, I'm looking this way, which looks like I'm looking at you. Wahaha! Wait, I can just do the laugh. Exactly as planned. I love that thing.
No, that's true. Because I normally put my video when I stream on the right, and then because I'm normally looking left, so I'm normally looking like at the game wherever it is.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure we can throw Imbuer at the top or something.
You put him above me.
Yeah, or I mean, I guess we could put him in the middle, just like floating head.
When I talk to Imbuer, I have to be like, hey, what are you doing?
You just get a broom and go like, keep it down.
Yeah, what are you doing up there?
Turn off that loud music. All right.
Anyway, where was I? You can catch us recording live every other Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time here on the 0 Point Report Twitch channel, where you can also join us and chat with us while we do the show live. Or download our show wherever podcasts are found, so you can listen to us on the go. They're long. You can get in touch with us by engaging with us on Twitter at 0 Point Report, emailing us at the0pointreport@gmail.com, checking out previous shows on our YouTube channel, and joining us on our Discord server, both named the 0 Point Report. From all of us here at the 0 Point Report, we want to thank you for tuning in and wish you all the best from the secret world. Have a good night, and see you next time, everybody.
Bye!